All right, here we go. Talking New York, Tony Yayo.
Back at it, man.
Back.
VladTV by popular demand, man.
Yes.
Know what I'm saying?
Lots to talk about today. But first of all, we have to talk about NBA YoungBoy's #1 fan, Ja Morant.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he first waved the gun around in the strip club, me and you had a conversation about that.
Mm-hmm. Playing with the gun, when you from the streets, you don't play with guns. You don't, know what I'm saying? A gun is nothing to play with. It's not a toy.
What did Ja Morant do after that?
I mean, was it him or was it his man waving? He was waving the gun again, right?
He was waving the gun. He was wilding out to NBA YoungBoy.
But you know, you know what? His man shouldn't have had to put that on camera. Because you know
he didn't put it on camera, he was on live. And before Ja pulled the gun out, he goes into the camera and was like knowing he's on live and singing along.
But you got to remember this, Vlad. We in New York State, right?
Yes.
So them places out of town, Atlanta, those are gun states.
Memphis, I think.
Memphis, those are gun states, bro, if I'm correct, right down south. So it's a lot more guns floating around. Like when you go down south, you see different kind of guns that you would see from in New York. Mm-hmm. It's a gun state. So they're used to having guns with them because everybody's kind of mainly legally carrying.
Right.
So sometimes people just carry it away, gets in the camera. That could have been a legal pistol or whatever, but you know, being that he has endorsements and all that, of course he's going to get in trouble. So I don't know, you know, I don't really think it's him because he's still young. He's 23 years old with millions of dollars. You know,
hundreds of millions of dollars.
I'm just saying, you know, like I said, I've been in a place of power where I thought I was unstoppable when I was young and had money. And he had way more money than me.
Mm-hmm.
So I could just imagine, you know, when you talk to Mike Tyson, people like that, 23 years old with millions of dollars, you know, at a young age, you know, sometimes things will get crazy. And there's no excuse for him because I'm a Ja Morant fan too. But at the end of the day, bro, you know how the NBA play. They're not going to really play with all that stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Well, I can understand if this was the first time it ever happened and okay. Because, you know, ultimately when he waved around the gun in the strip club, he got suspended for 8 games. In fact.
Well, Vlad, we got to remember he's 23 years old.
No, I got it. Okay.
Well, how much? $200 million.
Okay, but do you know that because...
I'm not making no excuses, but just think of, I can't really, you know what I'm saying? I just remember when I was younger and we was G-Unit, like, we'll talk about guns and videos when we was the first ones putting guns in videos.
Right.
So
but
but
you were signed to a major record label that didn't care about shit like that. When you signed to the NBA, you sign a clause of acting a certain type of way because of the family audience associated with the NBA and everything else like that. You are not, it's not just a record deal.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not making no excuses for the man. You're wilding out. You're in the best part of your life. You got millions of dollars, and there's many people are all gonna say, yo, if we was in your position, what we would do, and all these kids look up to you. So I understand. All I'm saying to you is that he's 23 years old, he's in the car with his man. He probably didn't think it was gonna go that far. That's all I'm saying. But sometimes people forget who they are. You could be an artist. Just listen.
Okay.
Sometimes rappers being rappers and people like that and celebrities and icons, they forget who they are. Sometimes I forget who I am. You know what I'm saying? And you can make mistakes. That's all I'm saying. I made mistakes too. So who am I to judge Ja Morant? And plus, he got $200 million. He's not listening to what nobody say. I'm just keeping it real with you.
Okay.
Once you make 200 M's, niggas like, what the fuck I'm listening to Vlad for?
Well,
not saying you ain't successful, don't have money, but you know you've been around plenty of celebrities and know it's levels. Once it's a certain celebrity or you get to a certain status or a certain kind of money, motherfuckers like, what the fuck I'm listening to you for? Especially if I got more money than you.
You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to anyone.
I'm not saying
you are going to have to listen to the NBA commissioner.
Definitely.
And what comes down the line from this particular situation, because when you did it 2 months ago, when you pulled out the gun in the strip club 2 months ago, he got suspended for 8 games. And because of that whole situation, he didn't make the All-NBA team, which according to his contract would have entitled him to $39 million more. He lost $39 million with that first stunt. Only for 2 months later to do it again. They're actually going to announce what the penalty is after the NBA Finals. They don't want to take away from
I know they said from the finals, and I hope it's nothing too bad, man, because he made a mistake, and he's one of the faces in the NBA. We need him in the NBA, so hopefully he learned again off this mistake. That's all I'm saying. I who am I to judge? Like I said, I was the guy in my 20s that went to jail the next day. So who the fuck am I to judge? They'll look at me and be like, well, he's fucking stupid. So who am I to judge him and say he make the same mistake twice? Or if that second mistake, I definitely did learn though. But when you got money and power, sometimes it get to your head. Like you think you're unstoppable. Cause I definitely thought that when I was younger, I look at some of the shit, I'd be like, damn, I even had hip hop police say that to me. Like when they arrested me in the airport, like, yo, you think you're unstoppable. Everybody wants to kill you. Like hip hop police just told me that. So it was just like, yo, bro, it's not a game. Like just being a celebrity, or just being a regular person in the street, you just gotta watch how you move, the things you say, especially with the internet now. With the internet now.
Yeah, listen, it's a sad situation, and his man, this was like a childhood friend that was filming with his phone. I guess he just unfollowed him, on Instagram.
Yeah, because it was probably fucked up that he went live, but
right, but he knew he would see. Listen, I get it. If me and you're hanging out, right, and you're thinking you're not on camera and you're speaking freely around me, and I pull out a camera and you suddenly realize you're being filmed the whole time, that's one thing. But if I got the camera in front of your face and you're in the camera talking shit, and then you continue to do dumb shit.
He made a mistake. He made another millions of dollars, $1 million mistake.
Oh, this is more than $1 million mistake.
No, I'm just saying that in general. He made
better add a zero to this mistake.
It's going to cost him millions.
Yeah.
That's on him. You know what I mean?
Right. But the guy that was filming had 150 people on live.
But that comes down to your circle. That's even with a rapper. Like for a lot of artists that are young now, they're gonna have people in their entourage. Like maybe 3 or 4 guys might learn the business, turn into road managers or work at labels, and the other 10 are probably just want to mess with girls on the road or just get drunk or get high all the time. So 50 always say it, like everybody's just not gonna get it. It's all about the circle that's around you.
Yeah. No, listen, I agree. And I mean, listen, maybe because I'm older, I don't understand this concept. Like out of all the times that me and you have hung out, like outside of our interviews, have I ever pulled out a phone and went live with you?
No.
No, I wouldn't even think to do that. That's dumb.
But we're talking about a kid that's 23 years old.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying, but I'm telling you, like, I was wild at that point, Do
you think if 2003, 2004 G-Unit, if IG Live was around and everything else like that, do you think you guys would have gotten more trouble?
We would have gotten way more trouble. And don't forget, we got the Final Lap Tour coming.
We'll talk about that.
Final Lap Tour coming. Y'all make sure y'all go get y'all tickets.
Yep.
Yeah, because it was just like any other rap group. It was just like Bobby Shmurda, 14 guys with 14 guns. Like when I think when Sha Money took on Bobby Shmurda and them, he thought it was G-Unit all over again. Because in my mind, 14 guys in the studio, 14 guns. That's how we used to really roll. And then when you look back at the shit, you're like, damn, we had God on our side because there was a lot of crazy shit. Like we'll be on tour buses with 14, 15 guys, guns. Everybody got a gun. Everybody got their own gun. It wasn't just 1 or 2 dudes with guns. Nah, it'd be 10 dudes with guns on them. So when you look back at it, you're like, damn, we beat all odds. But we had somebody smart enough like 50 to realize that, yo, you're going to go down. Like, RICOs are getting handed out like fucking chopped cheeses out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like chopped cheeses.
And it's like, yo, it's so many cameras now. What's the future of crime? There's not going to be no crime soon.
No.
It's not going to be crime. Like I told you one time, I was talking to Lisa Everett, shout out to her, and she was telling me, like, yay, she be around the police and everything, and she's like, you'd be surprised the cameras they got. They can get you off an ATM machine.
Wow, yeah.
They can get you off red light cameras.
Stores all have cameras.
All the
in
stores,
front.
they'll get you. They could come back. They'll get you. They getting guys off ring alarm cameras.
Yeah.
They got touch DNA now. Like you could do something to somebody, touch. They can get DNA off the clothes.
Damn.
Like, are you kidding me?
That's crazy.
We got the robotic dogs and shit. Remember
Yeah.
Scarface? He was like, you got all this shit over here, man. You got the camera. Just like Scarface. You got the robotic dogs.
Mm-hmm.
They got the darts to shoot out now on the back of the cop cars. Like if a cop doesn't even have to chase you, they got the darts, the GPS darts that'll stick to your car and they'll just come catch you later. So it's the technology.
Yeah, it's the worst time ever to be a criminal right now, 2023. And next year is going to be even worse. So
yeah, but to me, it's all a business because this is the way I see it, right? You got neighborhoods, right? All in New York, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, right? So they want us to kill each other, right? Cool, kill each other. What happens? The property value dies down, right? In the neighborhood, nobody wants to live there. Somebody comes and buy it. It could be anybody, and it could be, I'm not saying Jewish, Indian, because you see everywhere you go in Queens, like places, it's all kinds of people buying all the real estate, right? And what happens is all a business. It's stupid. Because when you're outside looking in, you look at stuff different. When you leave the hood, you're not on the corner no more, you're like, wow, a lot of stuff people kind of be saying was right. Like, I'm on this block, fighting for real estate that's not even mine. We shot out on blocks, and we ain't even own shit.
Right. Everyone was renting.
So, the shit Jay-Z says to the Rob, like, we shot out on blocks. We didn't even own the block. So you got dudes in jail that's still in jail over a block that we didn't even own it.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have no real estate. We didn't have no stores there. So when you look at it, it's all a game. It's all a business. And I'm not saying what dudes are doing in the street is right, because when innocent people get hit, the police is coming. You got guys out here shooting and they missing. In my day, you run up on your target. Now these guys got chips on their guns. These guys want to shoot innocent people.
Wait, chips on their guns?
Yeah,
what does that mean?
The chip with a gun.
Uh-uh.
The chip they put on the back of the niggas buying it off. So much shit now, man. You never heard about a chip on the gun?
What does the chip do?
The chip makes the gun go from
semi to fully?
To fully auto.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So now niggas are buying this shit on the internet, but they getting bust. The feds is on that shit like crazy. So it's like an extra charge to have the chip on the Glock.
Well, yeah, when you have a fully auto, which is illegal everywhere, essentially.
But I don't understand how you could just buy it on the internet. See, and that's why I'd be like, yo, shit is just all a business. Like,
yeah. I mean, you could 3D print it also, probably.
Yeah, they was just talking about they're going to start cracking down on the 3D printed guns, too. See, that's the future going, too.
Yeah.
The ghost guns, and that's crazy, huh?
All right, well, speaking of RICO charges being handed out like chopped cheeses, in New York, Chef G just got indicted for a RICO along with 32 people.
Free Chef G, man. It's a terrible situation. Shout to Sleepy Hollow, and shout to White, shout to Uncle Murder, Winning Circle. It's a tough situation, man, but we are the targets, bro. And he's innocent till proven guilty. I don't like to talk about people's cases because that's the guys. But it's terrible, man. But hip hop police used to follow me home. So I understand, like, you make one mistake, allegedly, and these guys are on you, and hopefully it's a good turnout.
We're not gonna give our opinions about the case, and I'm not gonna talk about the case.
But there's a lot out there,
yeah.
like
let me just state what is in the news right now about his case, just to let people know the severity of it. So according to reports, according to the prosecutors, they're saying Chef G paid cash for a group of 9 that he treated to a high-end steakhouse, which they say was reward for a shooting against a rival gang 2 days before they left 1 man dead and 5 others injured. So clearly there's a snitch somewhere in that mix.
Yeah, but the newspapers always make it seem like, bigger than what it really is. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying anything really about his case, but I could say like they'll say a high-end dinner. They could have just wanted to go get something to eat.
No, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And they could have been like, yo, well, he's treating them to dinner because of this. Like he's John Gotti or some shit. And that's not really the case.
Yeah.
And you see that's just how the game go. You understand what I'm saying? They, of course, when you're in newspapers, they're gonna make you look like John Gotti or Scarface or whatever it is. I already know. All on YouTube, I've seen all the evidence. There's so much stories out there of Texas and all that other shit. But he's innocent to proven guilty. But you know, I don't know. It's like YouTube is saying a lot. You know, and it's a terrible situation because, you know, us as artists out here, especially black men, we're fucking targets from hip hop police, from what else? From the feds, which is the hip hop police. Now you have state RICOs, right? Now you got cameras fucking out the ass. You got facial recognition. So if you do something, you get away with it. Months down the line, you gotta kind of worry about that because the cameras could follow you anywhere. Ring cameras are sending you to jail. Cameras off ATMs. Cameras off of buildings. Cameras in cars.
Instagram DMs.
Camera on your phone.
Tweets.
Your phone. If you do a crime and you say you wasn't somewhere and your phone was in that area, they prosecute gonna go right to your phone records and ping your phone records in your court right there.
Yeah, they can triangulate your location
so it's like,
of where your phone is.
Yeah. People,
now listen, it's ugly. For example, since last time Taxstone was found guilty, right? He's facing up to 25 years at this point. And I remember I talked to his lawyer about the situation, and he basically said, look, Troy Ave taking the case, you know, the jury was, you know, split about that. You know, there weren't really a lot of witnesses. There's no clear camera footage. But what ultimately happened, because he talked to one of the jurors, was that Tax had a phone in prison, well, in jail, in Rikers. And I guess they managed to intercept some of his text messages. And some of the text messages talked about the actual shooting, with him actually texting about it. And he basically said that's really what got him at the end of the day, is him getting too comfortable with the phone while in jail and talking about things he should have been talking about. If you got a phone
in jail, that phone is probably tapped or whatever, or that's a smart way for the feds or anybody to intercept anybody.
Yeah, they'll just let you keep the phone.
They'll
tell the guards not to search your room.
Like, let's not act like the feds ain't super ill with the shit they got. You know what I mean? And it's like, right now you just gotta be humble, stay out the way, get your money, and be legal about it, bro.
Did you have phones when you were locked up?
Nah, I was locked up 203, 204. We was just lucky we got Chinese food and Jamaican food and shit like that.
So nobody was smuggling in phones or nothing else like that?
At that time, it wasn't really about that. Like, now you fast forward to this time, it's all about the phone. Like, a CO could probably sell that phone for a couple of thousand maybe. But back then, like, you gotta remember, it was 202, 203. It wasn't really about the phone. As long as you get weed and some good food once in a while, you good on the island.
Well, they had cell phones back then. They didn't have.
Yeah, but you ain't see them like that, though. Like how you see now. Like, every motherfucker in they cell might have a phone.
Yeah.
Now, but that phone could be hot, though, like you said. That phone could be.
It could be hot.
The feds could have sent that phone.
Oh, yeah. Now, listen, they have something called Stingrays out there that'll literally track all the digital packets that are going in and out of that jail.
Because I know if I'm locked up for something, I wouldn't trust no phone saying nothing about my case. Because that's the one thing when you go to prison, everybody know at jail, that you never talk about your case to nobody. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers be getting wired or anything. That's like rule number one. As long as I ain't telling on nobody, you don't need to see my paperwork. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, so you never tell nobody about your case. That's rule number one. Because motherfucker could implicate you to get himself out of trouble. Because everybody who's in prison or jail don't want to be there. You know?
Oh, yeah. And if you can snitch on someone that you don't even know, really, you know, that's not connected with anyone back home.
Yeah, man.
A lot of people just go for it.
That's why I free everybody. Free CB, free Deadeye, free Casanova, free all the rappers locked up, man. The list goes on and on and on. Free Chef G. You know what I mean?
Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy out. He on that.
Sleepy's out.
He's on that. He on that big bed.
Free K Flock.
I don't want to give you too much information. Free K Flock.
Yeah.
You know, I know he on the island, and you know, The Rock is. Come on, man. That's top. That's in the top 5 of toughest jails ever.
Well, was that the worst place you've ever been in? Rikers Island?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Out of all the places you've been in life.
Man, Rikers is an experience, bro. Because it's like you got the toughest killers from New York in there. You got, you know, from Bronx, Queens, Harlem, Brooklyn. You got every borough in there, man. It's like, bro, you never know what the day going to be like on the island. That's my experience. Like, you know, you be in your dorm and you hear niggas rumbling. Just picture you be in your dorm and you hear niggas rumbling upstairs, the ceiling shaking. Woo-hoo! What's that? Yo, niggas rumbling up there. Motherfuckers getting cut. right in front of your face.
You've seen people cut in front of you?
Yeah.
How badly? Like
I seen
a $150 right in front of you?
I seen the motherfucker get chopped and the riot police was right there and they stripped everybody naked in the hallway.
Oh, everyone gets stripped naked to see what other knives?
They happen to be there. They run in the houses sometimes just here and there. You just never know when they're gonna run in there. And a motherfucker got cut. It was over cigarettes too, because when I was on Rikers when the last week of cigarettes was over. So if you owed a motherfucker for cigarettes, it's you over.
Oh wait, so they stopped allowing cigarettes in Rikers?
Yeah, I was like 2003, 2004.
So everyone was starting to lose their mind because no one could get their little fix,
so,
little nicotine fix.
But some people monopolized because some people bought mad cartons and they sold them for double the price. So, jail is big business. Guys are fucking geniuses in jail. It might sound crazy to you, but a lot of guys get creative in jail. Yeah. Some of these guys could bake a cake off a fucking hot pot. Could fucking make fucking Valentine's Day shit out of soap. So people get creative. It was one of the most creative places, creative things. And it wasn't, I'm not gonna say it was a good experience because I hate jail. But I don't want nobody to be in jail. I wouldn't pray that on my enemy, but people get creative there.
Tory Lanez tried to get a retrial. It got denied. He's facing a minimum of 9 years, but the prosecutors have actually asked for a more severe sentence because he's facing up to 22 years. And this is what they said. They said there's 3 aggravating factors that will allow for the judge to give a more severe sentence. They said the defendant's actions also demonstrated a high level of callousness. Number 1, they say that Tory Lanez used a semi-automatic handgun and Megan Thee Stallion was very vulnerable at the time of the shooting. As the victim began to walk away from the defendant wearing only a bikini and no shoes, the defendant mocked the victim with "dance bitch" as he opened fire in her direction. With no justifiable reason, the defendant fired not just 1, but up to 5 rounds in the direction of the victim in the middle of a residential neighborhood. The brazenness of defendant's conduct is alarming, but the conscious disregard for the well-being and safety for all those around him signifies a high degree of indifference for human life. So that's their argument to the judge to say, throw the book at him.
I mean, 9 years for somebody who never did a bid is probably throwing a book at him.
True.
So I don't what they want to give him 25 years.
He's facing up to 22.
That's ridiculous.
Well,
that's something.
It is
22.
It is
listen, 22 years is something you get when you get a body.
Right.
But California laws is tough. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, and I've said this a lot.
That's assault. You should I could see 7, 8. Yeah, but 22 years, and I don't take sides on, Tory's wrong or right or whatever it is. I just know whatever happened wasn't supposed to happen. You know what I mean? Because it left 2 people fucked up. You in jail, and, Shorty head was fucked up behind what happened.
She was shot.
Yeah.
In the feet.
Yeah, it was a fucked up thing. So, and both of their fans, it was just a lot. A whole bunch of fans in the middle of the shit. But what I'm saying to you is 22 years, that's a body.
Right. But they didn't say.
I don't know what California laws.
They're not asking. They didn't actually put a number because I actually looked into this whole thing. They didn't say give him 22 years.
Don't they charge you about a bullet 2 and a gun 2 or something like that?
Possibly.
You got to look it up. You got to look up California
There's a lot going on.
laws.
But look, I've always said this. When it comes to these trials, please keep in mind that if you choose to speak out against the prosecutors, against the judge, against the assistant DA, these are all people with egos and feelings. So if you want to fuck with them, because Tory Lanez did a whole press release saying that the DA is crooked, they're trying to send an innocent black man to jail,
every case,
he's racist and everything else like that.
Every case I caught in my life, it was by myself. So I never had a co-defendant. So there was never nobody to tell them because I cop out on myself.
Okay.
I'll take the cop out. So for me, like I said in the last interview, if somebody's saying I did something and I shot him, and I don't care if I spent $500,000 with my lawyer, $250,000, I think my lawyer should just tell me to cop out.
Me, I would have copped out. I would have been like, you know what? I shot her and I cop out and that's it. Like it's
right.
That's for me. You know what I mean? I would have been too scared to go to trial. Like, yo, I don't want to do extra time.
That's it. I'm not saying I passed the bar or no shit like that. You know what I mean? Because I definitely ain't passed the bar.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing. I just had a lot of lawyer friends. Shout out to Bob Macedonia. Shout out to Scott Lehman. Shout out to Mark Gand. Who else? Steve Murphy. I just know there's a lawyer for different cases. If you want to go federal, you go with a Scott Lehman, or you know what I'm saying.
If you want to appeal, it's a whole different lawyer.
Yeah, you want to go federal, you go with a Don Florio. Shout out to Don Florio. Don Florio is like, everybody loves Don Florio. You know, you can go federal or state with them. You know, you wanna I forgot, what was it? Edward Hammond he used to work for the parole board. He was a parole lawyer, so he got me a chance to travel around the world and have no problems. I just couldn't be around. I had to ride on. I couldn't ride on buses with too many felons and shit like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? They had to have me on the bus with the violins and shit like that.
Right. Which is and a lot of guys had felonies.
From my experiences of getting in trouble in the past and G Unit, because G Unit's one of the rap groups that had the most fucking trouble, most beefs with everybody in history. That's what we're gonna be known for in history of hip hop. You know, it's just different lawyers for different things. Like I said last time, if somebody says I shot him or I stabbed him or did anything to them, and it's a live witness, I'm copping out.
Yeah.
That's just me, you know, because I'm gonna be honest, like I'm not really scared to, knock on wood, go to jail. I just don't want to go to jail. It's not a nice place, but it sometimes it is what it is in life.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not, and I'm not saying that Tory's scared to go or nothing like that.
I think he's scared to go. He's never been.
I'm just saying, for me,
most people would be scared to go who've never been.
Like, let me give you two options, and I will ask you too, right? Would you rather cop out and take 5 years, right? Maybe 4 years, 5 years, and maybe do 3 of that program, maybe do 3 years. Would you take that, or you're gonna play with doing 10 or 15?
Or 22.
Yeah, I'm not playing with the state's money. So for me, even if you had a lawyer, if I know I'm dead out court, right? Like, they caught a gun, I know my fingerprints is on that gun. So if my fingerprints is on that gun, right? I'm not playing with the people, because once they do all the fucking ballistic test and all that shit, oh, his fingerprints on the gun, he took it to trial. Oh, you blowing trial. You doing more time, way more time, because you play with the state's money.
No, right, but and I agree with everything, but the point is that at the point that you're found guilty or the point that you're going to trial, don't aggravate, the DA, the prosecutor, more so unnecessarily. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna piss him off. You know what I'm saying? But
Vlad, that goes back to niggas with money. That's what you gotta understand. When motherfuckers have money, we think we could sometimes do everything. And didn't Bernie Madoff go to jail, to the feds?
Well, but he turned himself in.
Well, but there you go.
He didn't fight it. He literally, I know this story. Bernie Madoff, at the point that all his money was gone, went to the feds and said, hey, this is what I did. There was no trial. It was just sentencing.
Yeah, but still.
He pled guilty off the bat, and that was it.
Listen, bro, we in
different story.
We in times now where the feds and all these, they got all kinds of shit, all kinds of ways to get you, bro. You know that. You know how it is. Like we said, they handing out RICOs like chopped cheeses out here. Imagine where New York City being at if half of these rappers wasn't dead or in jail. Imagine where we would be with the K-Flocks, the Pop Smokes. You know what I mean? The list goes on and on. Imagine where New York music, and I'm not saying New York music ain't hot right now because it's mad dope artists. I'm just saying, like, if the K-Flocks wasn't out and the fucking Pop Smokes was still around, you still got your Fabios and you got all these dope artists. But I just feel like, them RICOs is fucking the city up.
Yeah, I mean, here in Atlanta, a lot of places.
Them RICOs is fucking the city up, man.
Yeah.
They fucking the city up. And these shits, and now we talking about state RICOs. State RICOs, and they have all kinds of people involved in this shit, from gang police. They letting you know, bro, we cleaning up the streets, bro. This shit ain't back in the days where you can get away with shit, bro. They letting the feds let you know we cleaning up the streets, bro. And and if you active and they're shooting around, they coming for you, bro. And that's just how the fucking game go. That's it. The feds don't want that shit on the streets, bro. They don't want motherfuckers with switches shooting back and forth, innocent people getting hit. they coming. That's just how the game is. It's all a business.
Well, I mean, the same thing that's happening in New York is happening in Atlanta right now. YSL case, which is also related to the YFN case.
Thugger,
so you got Lucci and Young Thug locked up. That case is a train wreck because I had this one guy, the lead attorney, who's a lawyer in Atlanta, kind of break down the whole case for me and everything else like that. Mm-hmm. They're still in jury selection. Like this whole year, they can't even get past jury selection because the case is so big and there's so many people involved that whoever gets on the jury is going to have to sit there for like 6 months or maybe even a year.
But in New York City, people be sitting on cases. They might not get sentenced for like 2 years. The case might last.
No. But the trial doesn't last a year. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but New York is different than Atlanta. Atlanta is a whole different, you know what I'm saying?
I got it.
New York will be moving a little bit faster maybe with it, the state, but
well, it's a
high profile case.
It's a high profile case with a lot of people. Like I think if they had just charged Young Thug, it would have been a relatively fast process. But the fact that they charged 28 people, all for the same thing, and they got to tie this all together.
Honestly, the case, Thug coming home, man. That's just sound
Thug is coming home?
Sound like a clusterfuck, man.
It is a clusterfuck.
People are not getting paid. Like it's just.
Oh yeah, no. One of the lawyers said that she's gonna have to start an OnlyFans page to pay her bills because when you're a court appointed attorney, you get just a very small amount of money.
Free Young Thug, man. And it's like, when you look at the shit, he's a high profile guy, so it's a clusterfuck. Even moving him around, he's high profile.
Yeah, one of the sheriff's deputies got arrested for trying to smuggle contraband to one of the YSL people,
I seen that.
That's being charged.
That's everyday shit though. That's like, that's like being on an island and the CO brings some shit in. Like that shit ain't no big deal.
That was regular.
It'll just make the news because you'll hear YSL to it. They make everything bigger than what the fuck it is, bro.
Yeah.
That's what the Fed's job is to do. That's what people don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a lavish this and he had lavish, a motherfucker have a little bit of things and they'll make that shit always bigger than what it seems to be. And I'm not saying that all the time in every case, but some shit be over exaggerated.
Yeah.
If anything, they're going to probably got weak evidence on everything else and probably got him on them guns that he had in the crib. And that's about it. They could probably hit him with that. But I don't know the gun laws in Atlanta because Atlanta gun laws is different, but free Thugger.
It's a mess. It's a mess. And Gunna, who got out,
he
recently just dropped a new song where he kind of addresses it.
It's funny because in the song, he's saying what I spent all this millions for to tell. You know what I mean? See, I don't call nobody a rat until you visually see it or see it on paper. So I think the visual shit was fucked up, how that was done. But what he seemed like he's saying in the song is like, I got fucked over. But they don't care about you. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I spent all these millions for to tell on a nigga for. That's the only lines that I really listen to in the song. Like, damn. Just like Tory. Remember what I said?
So here we go. He said, fuck, I paid the lawyers all those mills for. Just so I wouldn't have to say a word to dodge a railroad.
Right. Because what did I think, and I said this to you before, if the cameras wasn't in there, he probably wouldn't be as fucked because he didn't make a statement. His lawyer said he didn't make a statement. He didn't really. But what we seen on camera, we in times where, people gonna judge you.
Yeah, I mean, Durk in the Academics interview called him a rat. Some of the other YSL dudes is, calling him a rat. I mean, he's got a new song, and the song, it's doing some numbers. It may not be doing what it did at his height, but some people are listening to it. It's a weird situation.
It's a weird situation.
I don't know Gunna. I've never interviewed him. I never met him.
It's a weird situation, right? And I'm not making an excuse for a nigga, but if you paid all the millions, you know what I mean? And what I said, I would have sat a little longer. See, for me, I sat before. I could do a 2-3 year bid and won't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I sat, so like I said, like I told you before, like any situation like that, I'm going to sit and wait for what Thugger's going to do. Like if 50 was in this situation, let me just sit a little longer because it's critical now. You got the internet now, nigga. Niggas see you saying anything on camera, it's over.
Yeah,
and let's keep it real. Like we said, there's rules to really follow in the street. And no telling is really one of the main rules, bro. Unless you're a civilian.
There's a line in that song. He said, lawyers and the DA did some sneaky shit. I fell for it.
There you go.
I mean, was it really sneaky though?
I mean,
was it really sneaky? I mean, you're getting let out for a reason. They're not just letting you out because they like your music.
For me, it's like with the feds and the state, they're not your friend, motherfucker. The prosecutor's not your friend, the DA. So yeah, you could take this deal, but you know what? In their mind, yo, we gonna finish your career too. That's how I look at it. Like, yo, we gonna finish your career too. You out here promoting these guns, violence, and drugs to these kids, and you think it's cool? We gonna show y'all what happens to your favorite rapper. That's what the feds and the state want you to make an example. Like, y'all think this shit is cool? Your favorite rapper's gonna be in jail, dog. He get out of line, we don't give a fuck how much money you got. You're not exempt. We the motherfuckers that's being watched. One mistake, you're not exempt from that jail time. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I did bids before, skid bids. But there's motherfuckers out here that wish they had the opportunity that we got as icons and celebrities, and they looking like these motherfuckers is stupid. That's how a person's gonna look at you. If you're generating money and you can live a better life for your family and your friends and provide for your family without having to duck bullets, and you live in gang life, people gonna look at you like you crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Lil D.
It has to switch, bro. Just like it switched for us. Down the line, it has to switch.
Right. Lil D, he was one of the big kingpins in Oakland back in the 80s. He did like 30-something years. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I interviewed him. Good dude. He's now out, you know, living his life. Mm-hmm. But he said something interesting on, I think, Instagram. He said, right now there's someone in prison who would do anything to be where you are. Meanwhile, you're outside doing everything to be where they are.
Exactly. So it's like, and like my little bit of time in the feds, I read like the Fed guideline books, and I was like hearing some of the stories, like people selling the feds 2 bricks of sugar, but still getting charged for selling them 2 bricks. You know,
of course, you can do that. That's totally legal.
You know that, right? So
that's totally legal.
I'm reading shit like, wow, this shit is crazy. Like I'm reading shit in the Fed guidelines books while I was in the feds. Yeah. And it was dudes that they'll have stories in there that sold the feds 2 bricks. The bricks were sugar. It was flour. It wasn't even work. Mm-hmm. The Fed's still going to charge you for them 2 bricks.
Right, because it's intent.
Right. Yeah. Or you read the Fed guidelines. Oh, if you get an out-of-town shooter, oh, shit, let me go hire a guy from Baltimore or here or Philly or somewhere, right? You get an out-of-town shooter. You know that's like natural life.
Really?
You're better off shooting a motherfucker yourself or somebody here doing it. That's like the death penalty from getting motherfuckers from out of town to come here to be shooters. It's like some like you read the Fed guidelines. So once you start reading that shit and you be like, damn, oh shit, if I get caught with a brick of fentanyl, shit, 2, 3, they can give me damn near natural life.
Yeah.
There's cases like that, bro. This shit is not a game. So it's like, for anybody that's with this street shit, right? Look, the goal is to get out of the streets, not stay in them, motherfucker. That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
So if you get out of the streets and got the opportunity to get out of the streets, when you go back in, motherfuckers look at you like you're crazy. And you want to show love because the streets it's an addiction. That's what it is.
Yeah.
There was a point where I was addicted to the streets. I love the streets, rain, sleet, or snow. I'm on 134 on God Brewer. I'm on 160. I'm running around Old Queens, South Jamaica here. I'm in Brooklyn, I'm here. Like, I love the streets. We used to go to different weed spots as kids. We used to go to Harlem, Dykeman, just to get out the hood. We go to other hoods, Harlem. Motherfuckers go to Harlem, re-up. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, it was just like, I'm a dude that was always outside, always on the block. I love the streets, bro. New Year's, 4th of July, I loved it. You know, but as you get older, I realized why my pops chased me off that block. Mm. Crazy Haitian, too. Used to chase me off the block when I was 16, and I wondered why. I felt like he was embarrassing me, but when you look back, I see why.
Yeah. Since our last interview, the men who killed XXXTentacion got sentenced.
And they got natural life.
The 3 guys who did the shooting, who were involved in the actual shooting, got natural life. The guy who snitched on everyone got 7 years with 5 served, meaning he has to do 2 more.
Yeah, but he was just like the driver or some shit.
Exactly.
He was just the driver, and he wasn't built like that. You know, and it's a fucked up shit with X, because I don't know what people think. When you hit when a guy's high profile like that and you kill him, what do you think is gonna happen? Like, when you think it's gonna be one of the biggest investigations for the state, the city. People don't want big icons, people coming to their city and getting killed in their city. So they're gonna hit you with fucking everything. Now you got natural life and you're working for a penny a day, 10 cents a day up north. And now look, this is what happens. Oh, yo, he killed XX. Oh, you know what? Them niggas ain't built like that. We real killers. Now you're a target because you're just like the nigga that killed Nipsey, just like the kid that killed any artist, Pop Smoke, anybody. You're sort of a target. Yo, that nigga, he killed this guy.
I like that song.
Yeah, I like that song.
I like that next song.
Oh, he think he tough? And they gonna test your gangster right there. Because prison is where the real gangsters at. The real gangsters, where real gangster shit happen. You know? And some people, I'm not gonna say the young niggas that go in there now are not built for it. Some of them are built for it. Some of them ain't. You see some dudes, they go to Rikers, they partying, they chilling, they having the time of their life. They good, they built for it. And then some niggas ain't built for it. Those be the niggas to tell. And then, you know, is natural life worth how much? What was it, 30 G's? 40 G's?
15 G's each. 15,000 each.
So
and you know what's interesting is
45,000, you say?
I did an interview, you know, with the lead attorney, and we talked about this case. And he said, this is what the prosecutor did, right? You know, the closing arguments, right? You know, like how in closing arguments, every second counts. Like, you know, you only have a certain amount of time. The judge will allow you to do like whatever, a 10-minute closing argument, whatever. So you use all that time to try to get whatever points across to the jury. I guess what had happened was before they killed X and did the robbery, they sat in their car for 8 minutes and decided whether or not they wanted to do it.
It's premeditated murder.
So what the prosecutor did was she told the jury this.
Apparently, when the guys went out to the murder vehicle, the murder truck, to lie in wait for these people, they waited in the truck for like 8 minutes, 35 seconds. So she's giving her closing arguments in the trial, and she's telling them about this and how, you know, premeditation works, and you're sitting there and you're planning and you're waiting, you're thinking about this, you know you're going to do it, it's intentional. And what she does is she tells the jury that we are going to sit here in silence and wait for 8 minutes and 35 seconds, just like they did. And if you're in a courtroom, I can tell you 15 seconds of silence in the courtroom is almost unbearable. If you have 15 seconds of silence, the judge is looking up like, hey, what happened? What are we doing? Let's keep going. To sit there in silence for 8 minutes and 35 seconds to really drive home your point of how these men waited in that truck to commit this crime, it was so powerful.
For 8 entire minutes in a full courtroom. And then she stopped when the time was like, yeah, that's how long it took them for them to change their mind and decide not to do it. And they still did it.
Because with X, they thought it was just going to be a robbery. They thought a motherfucker was just going to
give it up.
Just see the guns. X was a crazy motherfucker. He was a legend. Like, all these kids look up to X, and they still he was like the next Tupac coming to some shit.
Yeah, people consider that, yeah.
And it's like he has so many messages, and sometimes people thought X didn't even care about life, some stuff he said. You know?
Yeah, he was somewhat, he would jump off of like the third floor, and
man,
like he was crazy.
He was crazy. So
he would fight everybody. Like,
so he could have easily gave the bag up. And I wish he was still here, because my kids love X, you know?
Yeah.
And I wish he was still here, because he's such an icon and in one of the Hall of Fames of music. He made all kind of music. Like, he could make love songs. He could make fucking
turn up songs.
Yeah. He was talented where, you know, he was up there with a Uzi and all these other artists, you know what I'm saying? Playboy Cardi, where these guys have fucking cult followings.
Yeah.
He was up there with them. So when you look at that situation for $50,000 the rest of your life in jail, you're stupid, because in your right mind, this is what people gotta understand. You kill somebody high profile. What are they gonna do? They're gonna make an example out of you. You killed this high profile guy. What the prosecutor wanna do? Oh yeah, let's get this case. He killed this guy. They want the case, right? They got you on camera. They're gonna have you on camera because you had a lot. So, but they're not smart enough to think like that. Yo, there's cameras everywhere. This guy's high profile. Nah, man. Shoot him in the leg or something. You know what I mean? That's how, I ain't gonna lie, New York nigga gonna be like, just, no, like, let's catch him by the crib. Like, New York niggas are gonna, from what I know, are gonna think it out a little more. Like, yo, nah, right here in front of the motorcycle parking lot shit, broad daylight.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You cut his car off on some, like, but these kids now think life is a movie. I don't know if it's the drugs, I don't know if it's the guns, but the shit you see now on camera, how motherfuckers getting caught, motherfuckers just think it's a movie, bro.
You
know what I mean?
Have you ever has anyone ever tried to rob you?
Nah.
Never? Okay. Do you know someone close to you has gotten robbed, armed robbery?
Of course, you know people that got robbed.
Okay.
I got robbed back in the days, though. I got robbed for starter jacket. I was like in 7th grade.
Okay, no, I'm talking about as an adult. Like,
nah.
You're out and about. You got a little bit of something on.
Yeah, but that right there changed my life because I was in Southside Jamaica. I had a starter jacket. I started taking the city bus from Rosedale and Laurelton to Southside. And when I got off the bus, motherfucker pulled out the 38. You know?
You know,
I'm in the 7th grade. So.
How old was I? I was 20. Okay, so 2 times. Okay, The first time, well, the only time I actually got robbed was in Cancun, Mexico by the police. I was coming back. I was coming back from a club, had my shirt off. Me and my friend got separated. Mexican police rolled up on me, threw me against the Jeep, went through my pockets, took my money, and took off. That was the one time I got robbed.
That's cool. That's not bad.
It's not bad. And I'm thinking, like, just don't resist arrest because you don't want to end up in a Mexican jail or you don't want to end up getting beat up by these cops.
You don't want to be in that Mexican jail, bro. Nah. You don't want to be in there.
But this other time, and how old was I? I was maybe about 26. I was walking by my office in Berkeley, and some dudes came up on me, and a dude just pulled out a gun on me and just sort of pointed. And it was me and my friend. And he pointed the gun at me, but he was like just acting erratically.
Yeah.
And I remember I guess like other people were seeing it, right? So someone called the police.
Yeah.
And I remember they ended up catching him. And the police.
So when he was trying to rob you, you just pull a gun out?
I don't know what it was. He was just, because I guess what had happened was right after he did that to me, he got into a fight with someone else.
Oh, he was drunk or something.
He was drunk, fucked up. And I remember the police approached me and was like, oh, is this what he pulled out on you? And they showed it to me. And it was it looked like a gun, but it was actually a knife that had like a gun handle.
The gun.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I never even seen that before or after.
Yeah, the knife handle gun.
But I was like.
They had those back in the day.
But they had already caught him and everything. It's not like I cooperated or nothing. They just showed it to me and I'm like, okay, that's what it was? You know, I'm glad, you know what I mean? But it was a crazy situation. But I remember when I had that shit pointed in my face, I'm thinking like, it's almost a natural instinct to try to like resist just as a man. Because you don't want someone to just punk you like that, but they got a weapon, but still there's something as a man that makes you want to not really go along with it.
Man, these young boys now in New York, California, Chicago, Florida, all over the world, they'll shoot first and ask questions later when they want something.
Yeah. I'm
smart enough to know that. So everybody should think like that. It's nothing to glorify, but you know, the shit you see now, they motherfuckers shoot first, ask questions later, bro. From what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel
From what I'm saying, you know, like times was crazy. Times was crazy in the 90s and all our times too. But now you can actually see it because you have the internet. Mm-hmm. So you see all the violence.
Yeah, I remember in the Tyson interview, you said something interesting. You said that when 50 gave you your chain, you said he told you that someone is going to try to kill you over this chain. Yeah. So just be aware. You know what I'm saying? This chain I'm giving you right now, They're gonna try to kill you over.
Yeah, and he told me that 20 years ago, and they still killing rappers over jewelry.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there goes your answer. So, you know, he just knew. And, you know, and I don't try to toot the man horn every interview I do or, you know, talk about him every interview, but he's a smart guy. And I always give him props because it was a lot of lessons learned from him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from his experience being outside at 12 and me coming out at 15. See, the motherfucker that sells drugs on the corner or just have a 9-to-5 or has some kind of art, music, draw, they a hustler too. It's just how you market it. One thing about 50 is he knew marketing. When he went from 34 Bunnies to 37 Illusions, I always knew he was a marketing. That was marketing. Even though we were selling drugs and we was doing a bad thing, because we was killing our people and we selling drugs to people and shit like that. We was doing a bad thing at the time, you know, because we making way more money legally than we ever did then. But at the time, that was marketing. You went from your capsules being this big to this big. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, and that was marketing back then. So him being outside at 12, he was a little more advanced because we was outside at 15. But when you see all kinds of stuff, like I said, I got robbed in the 7th grade. That's when I read Welcome to the Real World. You know, my family was middle class, but it was the hood. You know, went from the, you know, the yellow bus to the public bus. It was a difference. Now I'm waking up to breakfast. Motherfuckers are fighting on the bus, getting it on the Q85 on the breakfast. I'm like, damn. I went from the yellow bus from an innocent kid to like now, oh shit, I'm on a public bus. And mind you, I'm on a public bus. I'm going from Laurelton and Rosedale to Southside Jamaica, and I had to go from past some wild schools. I had to go past 231 and Springfield High School. Springfield High School was like back then. Man, riding the bus was dangerous. Back then, riding the bus was like so. Like I said, it was wild shit going on back in the days. It's just now you can see it. You know, it could have been even more wild shit back then in the 80s, because I'm from the era when motherfuckers were getting cut, blood just started, motherfuckers started turning bloods. You had Zulu Nation, you had motherfucking all kind of gangs on the avenue. You had motherfucking the toy soldiers from Jackson over there in Northside. Like, so I'll go to school and see a motherfucker get chopped for his bus pass. An innocent kid.
Get sliced.
Innocent kid on Jamaica Avenue.
Huh.
Jamaica Avenue was like the fucking Terror Dome in Queens because it was all the high schools. Everybody go there at one time. So you had Hillcrest, you had Jamaica, you had Thomas Edison, and then you had like other schools from Northside Jackson, people transfer to bus terminal. So yeah, I see kids, I seen some fucked up shit that I would never do. I was never a fucked up person like that. But I seen dude want a bus pass, go cut a kid. This kid is a civilian, just going to school chilling. Like, man, I was never like that. But school used to be crazy. Freshman Friday, motherfuckers just getting beat up back in the day. That was real.
I just interviewed Michael Franzese, who was, you know, former Mafia captain. And we talked about various figures like Roy DeMeo, who...
you don't be scared when you talk to these Mafia guys?
Nah. I interviewed Sammy the Bull.
It's crazy.
Sat down. Got into an argument before the interview.
Hey, you arguing with me? He had 40 bodies, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Lucky he ain't fucking whack you.
And listen, I got to do my job.
Right.
You know, I got to do my job, and I'm not scared to do my job. And if I sit down with somebody, I treat them respectfully, and I expect the same level of respect back, and their security present to make sure everyone's calm.
The Mafia has always been something that we looked up to in movies and stuff like that, and seeing in the streets. And I remember a kid, everybody used to talk about John Gotti's fireworks. John Gotti's actually about to fight Mayweather too. I'm gonna catch that one.
His grandson.
Yeah, well, it's John Gotti though.
John Gotti the third. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to the Gottis. That's gonna be a big fight. You know, that's gonna be a good one. You always looked up to these guys. I mean, you know, they was the guys that, because when you think about it, when you looked at the Mafia, right? We looked at it like these were guys that, yeah, some of the stuff they was doing was wrong. I guess the bodies or whatever, right? But they was transferring illegal business actually in a legal business. Didn't they say half of Manhattan is built by the Mafia?
Well, the Mafia was involved in various projects and everything else like that.
I mean, dumpster business, it was just smart people.
Well, I mean, for example, we talked in my last interview with him. I brought up this guy named Roy DeMeo, who was part of the Gambinos.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying that he's responsible for over 200 people that were killed. He had a club called the Gemini Club, which there's a thing called the Gemini Method, where he would get someone in, they would shoot him in the head, and then slice him open and drain the blood, and then chop up his body, and then rinse and repeat over and over
then the
again.
motherfucker's missing, yeah.
200 people they're saying that he's responsible for. Most of them, they're saying that he killed himself, right? They're believed to be responsible for over 200 murders. Does that sound like a fair number, or does it sound a little inflated?
You know, they always inflate, no question. But I mean, they had them comparable to Murder Incorporated way back when, back in the 50s. But listen, he was, they were a rough crew in that regard, no doubt.
Yes, the number is probably somewhat exaggerated, but it's clear that this guy is a homicidal serial killer, right? Mm-hmm. Growing up, without naming any names, did you have people that you knew that just liked killing people, that had like this bloodthirst about them? It wasn't because they were doing it for a reason. They just like to hurt people.
I think in every neighborhood across America, there's one or two crazy motherfuckers.
So you knew people like this?
I mean, I'm just saying in general. I just think in every neighborhood, there's people like that. Meaning, I think the bad thing about a gun is the power it gives you. I think that's the most terrible thing. Because once, you get used to that power, people start to abuse it. And now we're in a generation where, my generation, it's all about money. This generation now is all about bodies. What's your body count?
Really?
Yeah.
But who really brags about bodies?
Everybody.
Really?
Online, on the internet, no? I don't know anyone
who's bragging about murders.
You go look. I come from a drug dealer.
I mean, 21 Savage, I guess that one Clubhouse thing was kind of
what
bragging about it.
Look, what I'm saying is, look, we come from a drug dealer era.
Yeah.
From the 90s. We looked up to motherfuckers like Black Just and fucking, the fucking big guys, the Rich Porters, the AZs. Mm-hmm. That's what everybody wanted to be coming up from the 80s to the 90s, right? That's what we looked up to. So if there was ever any beef, the beef was over some money or some shit. That's what we looked up to. It was about going to the block, get money, staying out the way. Queens, where I was from, get your money, get fresh and accomplish your goals. It was about more of the money. Now, this era now is more of a gang era. So everybody, think about it, right? It's more of a gang era. There's more gangs. You got to think about it. Gangs, Bloods and Crips came what, 90s in New York? What year was that, 90s?
Yeah, but you had the Supreme Team. That was clearly a gang.
Yeah, but still, it wasn't like gang culture. It was more about selling drugs, though. Fat Cat and all them.
I see what you're saying.
It was more
they
about.
were there strictly.
Yeah, it was more
for
about
money.
Yeah, it was all about getting money. Tony Montana, motherfucking mad stores. It was all about motherfuckers getting millions. That's why they always say Queens get the money, because we looked up to dudes that got money. You know what I'm saying? Fifth was looked up in my hood because he was 17 and had a fucking 4Runner with Mickey's on it. Then he had the Benz. So motherfuckers was about the money. Now it's more about the violence. Oh shit, this motherfucker got 4 or 5 bodies. We got double digits. We got this, we got that. It's more about who's putting in more work. Don't get me wrong, it was about that back in the days now, but it's even more like that. That's what you're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, you had the Black Hand of Death. You know what I'm talking about?
Of course. Preacher in them.
Preacher crew.
Of course.
I mean, they were about money, but they were also about some grisly fucking murders. I mean, they're the ones who killed Rich Porter's little brother.
Right.
They.
But the Black Hand of Death.
Man, listen. Hold
on. Where does the Black Hand of Death originally come from? The Italians, right? Look it up.
Well, yeah. Well, you're talking about the
Because usually when the Black Hand of Death. Listen, the Black Hand of Death comes from the Italians. When they wanted to extort people back in the days, like they'll come to your store, they'll give you a letter with the Black Hand, bro.
The Black Hand.
I do my homework on all this shit because we look up to the Italian movies. Where does that come from?
Now listen, Clarence Preacher Heatley, and listen, I had Rich Porter's sister here, Pat.
Rest in peace, Rich Porter.
Rich Porter and Donnell Porter,
and
his little brother, which I think is the bigger tragedy.
Yeah.
And I remember she was describing that when they found her little brother's body, they had basically beat his head to death.
He died of blunt trauma to the head. Like, how could you just do him like that? So broken. Like 30-something years later, they still talk about, you don't never, I heard one person like Noriega and Capone, I'll never forget hearing them in a record, in a song or something mentioned Donnell. Nobody talks about him. They don't bring him up. It's like they made them so more important than him when they chose that life.
I mean, I'm kind of like tearing up right now, even remembering the
fucked up,
conversation. Like, this is a little, after cutting off his finger, right, and sending it in a fucking can.
But
then they bludgeoned him to fucking death as a little boy.
In the 80s, you would hear like,
that's not about money anymore.
No.
That's an evil fucking person.
No, that's fucking very evil and it's fucked up, and it's not a good thing. But what I'm saying to you is, back then there was so much money in the streets that we looked up the drug dealers because the drug dealer was the first millionaire in our eyes. You know what I'm saying? That's the first dude we know, oh, this dude's might have $500,000 in the crib. He got $1 million in the crib. So back in the days, there was a lot of kidnappings in the 80s. That's how it was.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking kidnap your kid because I know, this motherfucker's up. He might have $500,000 cash in the crib off of what his block just made the other week. That's how much money was coming through.
Do those kidnappings, like I said, without getting any names, because a lot of times when these kidnappings occur, like for example, the Rich Porter, Donnell Porter kidnapping, it's like they wanted like $500,000, but at some point, a woman is going to panic and call the feds and say, fuck this. Like we can't handle this shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is what happened in the Donnell Porter situation, but they couldn't do nothing. So how often do these kidnappings really result in a big payday for the kidnappers? Have you heard in Queens,
I haven't really heard anything.
See, that's what
crazy.
I'm saying. Like a kidnapping sounds like a good idea, but it rarely doesn't work out.
I know in the 80s, like my whole thing with what made me sell drugs is because all my role models was drug dealers. I remember the Honda Elites. I remember the Spree scooters. I remember the big chains, the when motherfuckers had the high rows of rings and the gold fronts and the rhinestone jackets, the rhinestone hats.
Did you ever have gold fronts yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta see that.
So it's
you got pictures of this?
I will have to find it.
All right. If you can find a picture, send it to me so I can show it.
The gold frames, so
gazelles.
I had a conversation and I was talking, and like we started selling drugs really for sneakers.
Yeah.
Because it went from 15 to 16. So it comes to an age as a man when you want to impress the girls now. So like my parents they gave us stuff, me and my brother, but it's like we had to share stuff. It wasn't like we was totally fucked up, but it was like my mom's ain't gonna be like, yo, I can afford to buy you these Jordans or these Air Max. So, our shit was from the love of sneakers, and all our role models was, I hate to say it, I wish there was doctors and lawyers around, but everybody was a drug dealer.
How great is it right now for Tony Yayo? You have how many kids?
3.
3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
To know that you could buy them whatever sneakers they want.
No, that's a great feeling.
They don't have to do anything illegal in order to get this little fashion item.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's so, and it's so crazy. Like I remember there's this one chopped cheese place that I go to in the Bronx, like the original chopped cheese. And I remember I went there one time just to get this chopped cheese, and it's like, oh shit, like I'm in the hood. Like it's really like in the hood. And I'm looking around and it's like everyone got nice sneakers on. Everybody.
Yeah, I mean, because
like everybody, and this is a very low income neighborhood. I'm like, yo, everyone got fly.
I mean, everybody want
to.
It don't. But you gotta understand this, bro. Like I'm from the hood. I'm from the bottom. So you know what I'm saying. Just like everybody else, I'm no different. I'm no exempt. You know what I'm saying. Like it was no fresher feeling than coming outside and spending your last bit of money, $100, $200. You was hustling all day in the rain, sleet, snow. I sold crack for that. Come outside and wear them kicks. Shit is fire. The validation of that is what we had.
How crazy
Because
is
you
that?
got to understand.
As someone in your 40s, how crazy is that? When you
it's
think
crazy.
about it?
I mean, when I think about it.
You're risking your life
Yeah,
for
but
a
you know
pair
what?
of overpriced
But you
Nike.
know what? But you know what? It's a mindset. Because some of them times in the hood, being on the block in the cold and hustling for them sneakers, I learned a lot of lessons in life. You know what I'm saying? And that changed me as a person. You know, I felt like I was going up grinding. Even though I was doing the wrong thing, I never robbed nobody, never nothing like that. But I was selling poison, you know. And at the end of the day, like, I think it changed me as a man because, you know, I caught cases and realized, yo, this is why my pops chased me off the block. See motherfuckers get shot up there, motherfuckers get killed. In due time, I seen a lot of shit. You understand what I'm saying? But it's a mindset. Mm-hmm. Some people that's in the hood is going to stay in the hood because they love it. And I understand because I used to love it too. It's like a high. I used to love it too. Some people is never going to leave their hood until you get to go out your hood and see different things. And that's one of the best things to me about the music business. It's not the women, the cars, the fake friends. All that shit goes. The jewelry, the bitches, your fame status, your show price, all that's going to go, right? Unless you fucking a mega icon and just, you know, lightning in a bottle as an artist or whatever it is, right? Yeah. All that shit's going to go. But what they can't take from you, the travel.
Yeah.
They can't take from me being in Nelson Mandela cell. You can't take from me fucking with hyenas in fucking Dubai. You can't take me in the red light district. My life, like, is set.
Yeah.
Those experiences to me is the best experiences in the world because when we're not here, we all have a day. That's the same we have in common. We're not going to be here.
Yeah.
You can't take jewelry with you. You can't take cars with you. You can't take women with you. You're just going to take the person you are with you and people remember you for. Either you're a good dad or not a good dad, or you're a fucked up friend or not a good friend. People's going to remember you for that. So for me, why people love me? Because I stay humble. You might catch me in the hood. I might go to the projects and chill, and I could be comfortable in any kind of climate. I can go to the projects and chill. I done did it. Go to Brownsville, go to fucking Bed-Stuy, Bronx, wherever it is, Soundview. I done been everywhere. Every project probably invaded the man almost. And I'll be comfortable. Because if something ever happened to me, if I ever go broke, bro, I wouldn't jump off a building. I can go right back to eating my beef patty and cocoa breads, what I still eat, or I can eat caviar. It's a mindset for me. Everything is a mindset. So when I see niggas that got money and feds on their back, I feel sad for them because nobody wants you to have no case. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants you to go through that. People want to see you win.
Speaking of travel, designer.
Yeah. That's
masturbated on a plane.
Listen,
got arrested.
That's one of the that's
what I didn't see coming.
Only thing I could think is with designer, and you know, shout to designer because it seemed like he's a good dude.
I've interviewed him.
You know,
very good dude.
He seemed like he's a good dude. You know, he had some success. You know.
Yeah. Has some big songs.
It seemed like just some ill drugs you might have been fucking with out there. Or somebody put something in your shit because I couldn't see why you want to do that shit. Like that's some real off the wall shit.
Yo, I mentioned it to Boosie, and it turned into one of the funniest segments I've ever recorded.
No, I seen that.
You seen that? He called him a 21 bandit.
I think he said didn't Boosie say some crazy shit though?
Well, first he called him.
Shout to Boosie.
First he asked when he was masturbating, was he looking at the flight attendant?
I've been around designers. You call them 21 bandits. He's a 21 bandit.
What does that mean?
He's a jack-off artist.
What is that?
He likes to catch eye. That's why I asked him, was the bitch head up with him?
Oh.
You ain't never been to the pen, man.
No, I have not.
When a bitch head up with you and you jack off, it's an addiction. The bitch look at you and let you jack off. Look your head up. Yes, I used to do it, bro.
Okay, but you were in prison. There's a difference. You were not on a plane.
But I'm telling you, that's why he has
he was probably in first class.
That's probably why he has a problem.
That really is jail behavior. You know, that was the first time me being on Rikers Island, like you see a motherfucker on the phone with his hands in the sweats, just keep walking. He's by the bubble and he's sniping his CO right now. That's none of your business. Mind your business. That's why I try to tell you prison and jail is a whole nother world. I did skid bids, you know what I mean? And I seen crazy shit being on Rikers. That's why I tell you it's home of the boldest. Ain't nothing like crossing that bridge. Motherfuckers say, I'm in this county. That county, Fulton County. Listen, ain't nothing like crossing the home of the boldest, the Rikers Island. I know all these other places are crazy in Fulton County and all these places down south, but home of the boldest is a whole different vibe. So what Boosie's saying, yeah, I know what he's talking about, but that in jail, when I was in jail, I was just sniping. Motherfucker be on the phone, CO in there.
It's called sniping?
He's sniping her. Sniping.
I mean, he's jacking off.
Yeah, he's sniping.
Okay,
So he be on the phone. For instance, you'll be in your house, a motherfucker be on the phone. You be on the phone. After he on the phone, the CO could be in the bubble, which is right here.
Yeah.
He's in his, you just see his hand moving in sweats. You walk by and mind your business. Pause. But
that's none of your concern.
It's just jail is another world.
Right. But what he told me, he took it a step further, right? He said that what dudes did in jail, well, in prison when he was locked up in Louisiana, was they would take a piece of string.
They tie a string around their big toe, and they tie the string to their dickhead. And when they walk, and when if somebody on the tower, you just tap their feet like this, jacking off, looking at them. That's why you might be in a pen and you might see somebody get locked up on the walk. You don't know what they getting locked up for. They was tapping their feet.
God, that's some crazy shit. Pause,
Hands
super
free.
pause. See, motherfucker.
I was like, who would want to be in a place like this where this is what you got to do?
That's so many pauses, man. I can't even think about
Have
that.
you ever heard of anything like this?
No. Like a dude will make like a Susie, like a fake,
right, a fake
shit
vagina,
like that.
yeah.
Motherfuckers get creative in jail, but that one is some whole other shit,
some next level shit.
But behavior like that when you get out, it'll be giving you like weird vibes. That's the difference between. That's why I say prison and jail is a whole different world than being in the world.
Yeah,
and shit. Free everybody. It's just like you got to learn to adjust when you get out. Because Boosie seen crazy shit in the county, and where he's and I seen crazy shit on the island. No, I know. Come on, Boosie a real one, man. Yeah, I fuck with Boosie, man. That's my guy right there.
What do you think about him and Rollo going back and forth over the whole snitching situation?
I don't know. I don't like to say anybody's a snitch till I see paperwork. There's so much of that going around right now. They say there's paperwork, and I like Rollo music.
I've interviewed him. Good dude.
I like Rollo music. I like Boosie music. As for snitching now, I know, the public is just gonna crucify you, bro. It's just, it is what it is. It's listen, when you playing this game, bro, it's rules to the shit. That's just what it is, bro. I don't make up the rules. It's just been from the beginning of the time. It's just certain rules to the game. If you're playing in this game, bro, you already know what it is, bro.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
It's crazy.
So I don't want to say,
I don't know.
Snitch,
I'm not saying that Rollo cooperated. There's also the rumor about P from QC that he cooperated about a dude that killed his man. I don't know, because at this point, with the internet, the way it works, someone will post some paperwork, the person will say it's fake. Yeah, it's a fake ass paperwork. And then how do you verify? And the person who brought it up is like, no, it's real. And they'll say, no, it's fake. Right. And then the fans decide who they want to believe.
I don't get caught in the mix of who a nigga told on or what a nigga told on, as long as he ain't tell on me. It don't have nothing to do with me. It's not my business. And it's like, it's so much, he told. You don't know what to fucking believe.
Okay, what about you? Okay, well, hold on a second. You yourself, I remember we even talked about how when your dad was having a heart attack, you wouldn't call 911 because you just, you froze up for a second, and luckily someone else did it.
Right.
Luckily, but you're so anti-police, anti-911 that you had to catch yourself in a situation, like that.
Listen, I got to call
911. I'm not calling the police, I'm calling the ambulance. But what I'm saying is, so you being who you are, would you do a song with someone that you felt snitched? Or does it not matter to you at this point in your life?
Well, I do a song. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I mean, because it wouldn't even make sense. Because it's like once you snitch, your career is kind of over. Because we in a culture where that's what you don't do. And it might sound crazy, but from the beginning of the time, even watching the Italian movies, we used to watch these movies and shit, man.
Okay.
Fucking Godfather and shit like that. So let's not act like we don't get that shit. Our culture, like you said, Black Hand and Death. But preaching them, that shit came from the Italian.
Right. Yeah, I never even thought about that.
So if you got a friend, right? If me and you are friends, right? and we both know we're about to commit a crime, right? And you get away, and I implicate you, and still gonna get the same amount of time, bro. That's kind of not right. It's just morally, you know what I'm saying?
But do you get the same amount of time? Isn't the point of snitching to
All
lower
I'm
your
saying
time?
is if
Isn't most times when you snitch, they reduce your time by cooperating?
you might not even get a deal sometimes. So my whole thing is if we both committing a crime, right? Look at the camera. We both committing a crime.
Mm-hmm.
You get away, I get caught. I'm mad because I'm caught and I tell on you. I implicate you on some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, bro. That's kind of like fucked up.
Gunna calls you up, said, yo, Yayo, I need a verse for my new song. Yes or no?
I'm not. And look, I can't disrespect Gunna because when you listen to the songs, look, I'm
not asking for disrespect.
Look,
It's a simple question.
Because you know me, I don't like to talk about motherfuckers on this internet shit and, you know, clickbait. And I know not you. We're not with that. We just state the facts and how we feel, give our opinions here. But I haven't seen no paperwork on Gunna to know if he's a snitch. I know we seen the video, but
Well, you don't need to see
But
paper.
look,
based on the video. Based
listen,
on the
and I'm
video.
not making no excuses. You seen the video, it looked crazy. And remember, I said that before,
Yes.
so I'm not gonna recant on anything. I said that before, yo, the video looked crazy. I rather would have sat. That's what I said. I kept it real.
Yeah, you would have sat.
I would have sat and waited for what 50
Right.
was
You
gonna
disagree
do.
with the way he handled it.
I would have sat. Because
Yes.
I could do time. Like 6 months ain't gonna be, some people can't handle the time. They want to get out. Filet mignon, they eating Fulton County from, you was eating filet mignon and caviar. Some people can't handle a 6-month bid. You know how the police looking at you? Oh, you a bitch. You can't do a year. like, come on, bro. There's real gangsters in jail, bro.
Okay.
It's real gangsters in there that don't want to be in there. Motherfuckers that serving natural life bids. That's never coming home, right?
Okay.
Hospice in jail, right? You could die in there.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to you is, the point is, man, you try to avoid all that shit, bro.
Okay, so
But what I'm saying to you
Gunna
is,
calls you up for a verse. Yes or no?
No.
No.
Right now, what?
Right now.
But what would he call me up for? Like,
Yo,
I'm chilling.
Tony, I need some ad libs. Like, yo, you the ad lib king. I want you to get up. You know, here we go now.
But then I would look at it like, well, you down and out. Now you want me to come do that? Like, now you kind of, you know what I'm saying? Not saying nothing bad about him, because like I said, in his new song, I'm not making no excuses for him, but he said, what I paid, this is the line that I liked about his new song. He said, what I paid these lawyers all these millions for to get railroaded. I kind of understand, because you could give your lawyer millions of dollars and my career is over. I spent all that money. I spent $1.5 million for this case. And I can't make music. Motherfuckers going to stand on my rat where your lawyer has to go to public, say he didn't make a statement. Nah, y'all kind of railroaded him, bro. Think about, listen.
That lawyer was
And
doing
the
his
camera-
job. That lawyer was to get his client out of jail, right? That
Bro,
lawyer did what he was hired to do. Your lawyer is not there to preserve your career.
Okay,
your
but
lawyer is there to deal
so if
with
your
this
lawyer's
case.
not there to preserve your career, why did his lawyer say that he didn't make a statement or didn't rat? If I'm giving you $1.5 million, right? Make me come out there looking like the man. That's all I'm saying for me, my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's what he's saying in the song. I got tricked by the DA. I got tricked by my lawyers. They're not there they're not your friend. Don't get me wrong. But if you take my $1.5 million, right? Have me looking out. When I step out of court, I want to look squeaky clean, because I didn't make no statement against Gunna, and I'm not going to trial against Gunna. That's facts. That's what they said, right?
You mean Young Thug?
Yeah.
I didn't make statements
He's
about
not
Young
making
Thug.
this. What it
Right.
looked like he made statements because he said the gun in the car wasn't his. That's him pleading
Yes.
out.
Well, he said the YSL is a criminal organization, and
Yeah,
I've
and
seen
they threw
members
that in there.
in furtherance of the criminal organization. Yes, ma'am.
But
yes,
listen.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But listen. His lawyer, he could have went in there.
He could have said, "No, ma'am.
He-
That's not a no. I'm sorry.
No.
It's not a criminal organization. It's a record
And then
label.
they would've-
I am an artist."
You know what he could? What I'm saying is this, bro, and I'm not making no
And they
excuses
would've
for
said
him.
bail denied,
I told you what I
and
would have
you're
did. I
out.
would have sat. It looked funny on camera, right? But what I'm saying to you is, when you take a plea, right?
Mm-hmm.
He probably didn't even know what was on that plea sheet. I'm not making no excuses.
Okay.
His lawyer probably just say yes to everything, because a lawyer will tell you this. Say yes to everything, and we're gonna be out of here today. We're gonna be out of here today, for real. Yeah, you're not telling on him. You're not making no statement. You're just taking a plea out. Think about it. Listen,
Okay.
Vlad, listen,
Yes.
Vlad. Your lawyer comes to you, says, you're gonna take this plea deal today, you're gonna be out today.
Yes.
Right? Time served.
Yes.
Word? I'm gonna be out today? Yeah, just take this plea deal. Don't worry. Just say yes to everything they say that they're gonna ask you. Cool. No problem. Now he's in court. Yeah, just say yes. Just say yes. Lawyers do have the power. They're telling you.
I understand that. But,
So
you can even hear it in the tape.
And I'm not making no excuses
listen,
for him.
Right,
Look,
right. We're not asking for excuses, but I'm
But
saying in
let
the
me
tape,
ask you a question.
you watched the tape and they said,
Vlad,
is it a criminal organization? And you could hear this long pause because he was like, fuck, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Now-
like, you could hear that pause.
Vlad, what I'm saying
and you
is-
could have said, no, ma'am.
No,
right?
but what I'm saying, you do what your lawyer says to do. What I'm saying, I'm not making no excuses. Now think about this, 2 things. Your lawyer comes to you, right? And he says, yo, we're gonna take this plea, just say yes to everything. And you're gonna get out today. Your excitement of getting out today is like, oh shit, I got a plea, I got served time. I'm not that big part of this RICO. I'm a little part, play a little part in this RICO. I'm probably on a couple of pages or whatever. Shit, I'm gonna get out today. Fuck it. Then the plea comes, then you're in court. There's a camera there. I don't know where the fuck the camera's there. The camera's right on the nigga like it's a setup. Like prosecutors had the camera there. Look, there's a camera there, right? For him saying, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. And it made him look bad. Now, if that camera was not there, Vlad, would his plea deal look as bad as it's saying? We would have just been like, nah, he took a plea, but his plea is saying he's not gonna make no statements or he's not going to trial. Snitching is when you make a statement on a nigga or you taking a stand on a nigga. You know what I'm saying? But when you split a case, sometimes when you have a case and there's different co-defendants and you cop out to that plea and that co-defendant is fighting the case, they looking at you bugging because what happens is he's pleading out guilty that to the RICO that's not a gang. That's where it's kind of fucked up. And Thugger still got to fight that case. So in a way, it's like people feel like you implicating the boss man.
Right.
Of course, I understand. But in any case, with 30 co-defendants, y'all all gonna have different lawyers anyway, bro. Y'all gonna have, and your different lawyers gonna try to work out the best deal possible for you. He's not gonna think about what the next man gonna do. Now, if it's 2 and there's 4 co-defendants, yeah, we might talk it out. But when you got 30 co-defendants, bro, 30 different lawyers, bro, and I'm not making no excuses. I'm just telling you, he could have got railroaded by lawyers and the DA, bro. They could have put that tape out there to make him look wild and try to.
I'm sure they did. And I think that's the type of pressure and that's the type of game that they're playing. But at the end of the day,
he's saying he didn't make a statement.
Listen,
and
if you were in that case, let's just say that this happened to G Unit, right? And G Unit has 30 people in G Unit got arrested.
Yeah, it definitely could have happened.
And if that judge asked you, is G Unit a criminal organization? And 50 was part of that case, I think 50 would feel some type of way when people would start to say it's a criminal organization.
Course.
When he's thinking, I've got a record label and I'm putting all these dudes in position to make legal money, and y'all over here saying it's a criminal organization.
But everybody knows, and you could ask any nigga with money. You have lawyers that are specifically or plea out lawyers. His lawyer could have been a plea out lawyer. Yo, this is what I'm good. I'm gonna get you the best time possible. Boom. So when he served that, what he did, a year and a half, Gunna? 2 years?
Not like a year, if
He
that.
probably did
Maybe 9 months, I think.
A year and a half. Yo, they don't got too much shit on you. I'm gonna plea you out, get you the time served, because you ain't really on this shit. All I'm saying is this. I'm not saying he's right for what was on camera. What he did on camera, I would have sat instead of did that. I would have wanted to do a longer bid. I told you that.
Right.
Right?
So in your case, when they said it's a criminal organization, you would have said no, ma'am.
But what I'm
and
saying
they'd
is
probably send you back to jail.
But like what I'm saying is this: the only part that I was digging in that song is what the fuck I'm paying all these lawyers for. If I'm paying this lawyer millions of dollars, don't have me on camera looking like that. So what I'm saying is he's saying the DA and his lawyers tricked him, bro. It could be a possibility.
You could say that, but last I checked, that same lawyer is still his lawyer, because his lawyer was calling me to try to clear all this shit up. And I remember even like months afterwards, I was like, are you still representing Gunna?
He's trying to clear it up. He's trying to clear it up because he's telling you that the nigga is not taking a stand on trial.
I get it.
and the nigga didn't make a statement.
Yeah.
It's just when they said, is YSL a gang organization? You know what? He should have told his lawyer, make sure you take that question out of this plea deal. Or yo, I'm not gonna do that because that's gonna look wild. Nah, is YSL a gang? I don't want to implicate nobody. So make sure in the plea deal, they take that out and they take whatever else is out, implicating anybody. And that's it. So, you know, if he do look fucked up, if his lawyer was like, yo, just take this plea, you're gonna get out of jail, I'm not gonna tell you, not telling them exactly what's gonna be on that plea deal. Like they're gonna ask you if YSL was a gang, you're gonna have to, if he didn't know that information, wasn't privy, that's fucked up, bro. That's all I'm saying to you.
And that could have been the case, but at that moment, he could have said, no, ma'am. He had free will to say, no, ma'am. But he felt at that moment coming home was more important.
But you talking about a nigga that's in Fulton County eating slop, nigga.
I get it.
With the gangsters.
Listen.
So what I'm saying is, look, you went from filet mignon to the slop, right?
Right.
With the gangsters, nigga, shit is real.
Yeah.
Now, your lawyer, you're not listening, Vlad. Your lawyer's coming in there, right? Your lawyer comes to you and says, Vlad, I'm gonna get you this plea. I'm gonna get you out today.
Yeah.
Vlad is like, what? You taking showers with niggas watching your back? Shower slippers, niggas getting shanked. You know, Fulton County ain't no game. Atlanta's all kind of gangsters there. From out of town, Mississippi niggas, Brooklyn niggas, Bronx niggas, all kind of niggas from there, 6th Ward niggas, all kind of niggas in the jail, shanks and all that. You trying to get out.
I get it.
Your lawyer's like, take this plea today and you're gonna get out.
Yeah, I get it.
He's not telling you what's on that plea sheet. He's just like, I got a deal. That's your lawyer's job.
Right.
Right?
I've been in enough trouble to know. What exactly is the deal? What exactly is the deal?
Because Gunna wanted to get out.
And he got out.
Gunna wanted to get out to his Maybachs, the bitches with the fat asses.
Right, which he got.
And fucking filet mignon and all that shit.
And the Mario
whatever other people's opinion was at that point, he didn't give a fuck because he has millions and he paid his lawyer millions and he probably think he wouldn't look as bad as it looked on that camera.
Yeah.
So when he say what I paid my lawyer all these millions for, that shit is real to me. I'm not vouching for nobody. I'm not saying who's a rat. I'm not with all that internet shit saying that. I just love the internet. I watch everything that's going on. Yeah. So, you know, I'm opinionated, you know, but my job is not to throw a motherfucker under the bus. My job is to do my journalism, right? And see what's really going on. So before I judge a motherfucker or say something about a motherfucker, let me do my due diligence and see what the fuck is real and what's not. And honestly, when I wake up in the morning, I don't give a fuck because they don't give a fuck about me. I don't wake up in the morning and think about just what's going on in the industry or what's this or that. It's just, I love hip hop. I love being a part of this culture and I love being a part of this movement. I love coming to Vlad and kicking with you about shit. But what I'm saying to you is every 5 minutes, this nigga rat, this nigga rat, this nigga rat. And we to an age now, right? We to a point now that a motherfucker can be a rat, right? And have money and motherfuckers still gonna fuck with him.
Yeah, I mean, Tekashi is doing big shows overseas.
Yeah, so somebody
he figured things out. He said, look, the U.S. don't really fuck with me like that, but these Spanish dudes fuck with me, so I'm just going to go over here and get my money over here, and the snitch shit is whatever.
And you got to think about this, right? Just because a motherfucker's a rat don't mean he won't shoot you or do something to you. So it's not my job to go, oh, he's a rat, or he's a rat. That's his business. As long as he didn't tell on me or nothing affect me in my life, I'm good. That's how I look at that shit. But right now, it's so much, yo, this nigga's a rat. Nigga's been ratting since the 80s, B. This shit ain't nothing new.
Well, listen, people have been calling me the police since I pretty much started. And yet, there's no paperwork. There's no nothing, but yet I'm still the police.
No, because they look at it like this. Yo, he's interviewing motherfuckers like the Mafia and shit like this. But all this information is privy. It's all out. It's all
public information.
It's all public information. So how's a motherfucker telling about something that's a given fact already? It's out there already. If the paperwork is out there, then it's like you could talk about it. It's not a big deal.
One of my most famous interviews, right, was with Lil Baby, right? And Lil Baby even played this on when he did like, I think it was Coachella or something, right? I'm interviewing Lil Baby. And I'm talking about a fight that he got into in prison.
Mm.
And I'm like, yeah, you got into a fight with a white dude in prison. He goes, how you know that?
Okay, you got into a fight with a white dude.
Exactly.
Was it like a racist thing? Was it like whites and blacks kind of clicked up in there?
How you know that?
Well, that's just how prison is most times.
I'm telling you, how you know I got into it with a white dude though?
I think you may have mentioned it in the past.
Nah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, this is about to be a moment. So I just paused for a long time and I'm like, I thought I heard someone was like, I don't know about that. And then I was like, oh shit, Lil Baby just exposed Vlad as the feds. Mm-hmm. Now, if you look on the internet, you will see a DJ Smalls interview 6 months before my interview where he talks about it, where he mentions a white guy that he got into a fight with in jail. But you know how interviews go. You don't remember everything you said in an interview, right. But look it up. It's still on the internet.
Right.
It's all right there. But people, but Vlad, Lil Baby exposed Vlad. But the video, I'm telling you where I got the information from. But people don't want to hear that shit. People want to say that I'm working with the feds. But it is what it is.
What did Dr. Dre say to 50 on Back Down on that song?
What did he say?
They not gonna like you. That was my favorite part. They not gonna like you. Who gives a fuck who likes you? You know what's the best? You know when I really found myself, I loved my life and had more fun? When I realized everybody's not gonna like me. And I'm fucking cool with it.
Yeah, Drake said it. Drake, I remember an interview he did with Lil Yachty. He said, I had to realize at one point that universal love was unattainable. And it hit me. I'm like, oh shit, Drake is saying this. The biggest artist in the world, the most loved rapper in the world,
millions
ever. Like you could say that Drake is the biggest rapper ever. Can you say that?
Yeah, of course.
You can say
He's
that,
one of the biggest rappers, definitely. In all time.
Of all time. Yeah. There's an argument for Drake being the biggest rapper ever. Based on the number of...
I mean, I'm see, when I do that, I'm not gonna say biggest rapper ever. There's so many rappers that when I do my
the most hit songs, the most records sold.
When I talk about hip hop, I just talk about a Hall of Fame. Like,
okay, I'm not talking about the Hall of Fame. I'm not talking
he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He's in the Hall of Fame. Just put it like that.
Okay, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
fine.
He's one of the greatest rappers ever of all time.
And you could say that he sold more songs, records, whatever than
he's in the Hall of Fame,
anybody. Bro. And he's still on the charts and still continue to do it, right?
Yeah.
If this guy is saying, hey, everybody doesn't like me, and I had to come to grips with that, who am I to complain about over people not liking me?
I told you,
if Drake is going through this, how the fuck can I complain about this?
Once you feel like that, like there was a point where like G-Unit, we was the most hated niggas like in the rap game. So it was like, yo, but at the end of the day, I came in with a motherfucker. Like I looked up, and I'm glad beef was done with like Fat Joe and certain niggas like Wu-Tang or whatever it may be, and like, cause Fat Joe, I remember being in the basement listening to Jealous One MVs. I remember listening to Cameron in my man basement. Remember, these guys were on way before us. I remember listening to the Locks. So when we was beefing with them, it was just like, it was crazy for me too, cause I used to be a fan of a lot of their music. So cause they all came before our time. I was listening to Fat Joe before our time, listening to Jada, Cameron, everybody. So when we was beefing with them, it was just like, damn, we beefing with the Locks. We made it. We beefing with fucking Big Pun just said your name 5. Like, damn, what the fuck? We beefing with Joe. Like, these are dudes that we fuck. I listen to in my man basement. Just One Envy, let it go, Joe. Let it go, Joe. I know hip hop, cause it's more than just music for me. It's hip hop. You know what I mean? And like, it's just crazy.
It's interesting that you brought that up because one of my members on the VladTV YouTube membership.
Shout out to all the members on VladTV.
Drew ATM. Mm-hmm. He brought up a song that I had forgotten about that you did. It's called I Run New York.
Oh yeah, that was me and 50.
You and 50.
Yeah.
Which was a Jadakiss diss song.
Yeah.
I mean, basically a continuous of what you were talking about.
Yeah.
This is when you guys were beefing with the Locks. Let me look at some of the lines you have on here. You said the Locks made more money in them damn shiny suits.
Oh, I said that?
You said that.
Shout out to the Locks, man.
You said my money longer than yours. Call you recruits. The Locks made more money in them damn shiny suits. You said, Jada, fuck your punchlines. My shirt went platinum. And so forth and so forth and so forth. How did you feel at that moment? It's like, yo, I mean, the Locks, you guys are beefing with them, but there's no denying how lyrical Jadakiss is, how lyrical Style is, how dope Chic is. Like, I mean, like, these guys, I mean, you could argue that the Locks are the greatest hip hop group of all time because they've stayed together this whole time.
But you know what it is though? It's like when I came home, I'm coming off a high because I remember people never believing in us. I remember people, 50 getting shot, people coming to the crib, Get Rich or Die Trying, we in his grandmother crib, little house, bulletproof vests. It was all a dream, like Biggie said. So when I came home, mind you, I'm living in Battery Park, bro. I got jewelry, I got money in my account, I got cars on the way getting delivered, Bentleys, Benzes. I got money in my account. I could finally afford shit. I was on another high, bro. So for me, it was like, fuck everybody. Because the nigga that put me in the game was 50 Cent. And you know what? I didn't have to go back to the hood. It wasn't no fake love. It wasn't, oh shit, he didn't drop an album yet. Nah, it was money in my account, right? And I lived in Battery Park. When I come out my building,
Statue of Liberty.
Yep, I kick over. I used to see white people barefoot over there. I said, oh my God, my life changed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like I said, I don't like to toot 50 horn too much, but for a person to put you in a position where you come out and your first condo is when you see the Statue of Liberty and you got money in your account and they're making sure you were good, and this is before you even turned in the album or fucking anything. This is just from mixtape money and all kinds of shit and shows piecing me off with bread. Nah. Every time niggas caught a case out the crew, the lawyer money, Scott Lehman and Bob Macedonia and the fucking Jew unit is on fucking deck.
Jew unit.
We had the Jew unit.
I know. We talked about it.
Shout out to the Jew unit. We had the Jew unit on deck, on the Rolodex, and them motherfuckers charge.
Yeah.
50,000. It came to a point where the lawyer's like, yo, call 50 first. For your niggas out the crew calling like, come on, man. So I appreciate the little things, man, because I remember not having a lot still.
Well, this actually brings me to my next question. It's funny that you would say that because in that song, you had a line that said, I'll beat you with my pistol like Kane did Chauncey. I just interviewed Alan Hughes of the Hughes brothers who directed Menace Society. That's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Kane beating up Chauncey over grabbing on Jada Pinkett.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're a movie guy.
Oh yeah,
So I got to throw a movie question at you.
Okay, bet.
What's the better movie? Menace to Society or Boys in the Hood? See?
It's kind of hard to compare because they both in the classic realms. Like
exactly.
What I do is I put movies into classic realms. Like, for instance, like, and I can go from, like, I'm one of them guys that I watch old movies, new movies, in between movies. So, like, Boys in the Hood and Menace, it's in the Hall of Fame of movies. So I can't really, like, they both
You got to pick one, man.
Like, Old Dog.
You have to pick one. You got to pick one. This is VladTV. You can't classic your way out of this question. You got to pick one.
All right, well, then I'm just going to have to go with Menace Society, man.
I agree. I think that was a better movie.
Yeah, I mean, Old Dog, and I know Lorenz Tate, he's Governor Tate, shout to the whole power. He's Governor Tate. I love that he could play so many characters, but Old Dog was just a classic character. But Ricky's scene, Ricky! That's like classic. You know what I mean? And when I mean classics, I mean like Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, Goodfellas, Godfather, Bad Boys with Sean Penn. You don't even, that's like in the 70s.
Yeah, I saw it.
That was a crazy movie. American Me.
Yep.
Colors.
Did you know, I found this out during my interview, that the Hughes brothers had the script to Menace to Society, and they watched American Me, and they switched the script after watching that movie.
That's crazy.
That's how big of that movie. They even said
American Me is one of my favorites.
Alan even said that American Me is the greatest gangster film ever. I think he may have said that, or something of that caliber.
By the way, while we're on the subject, just give Edward James Olmos his props, his flowers right now.
Oh yeah,
that's one of the greatest gangster films of all time.
100%.
I think way better than Menace, way better than Boys in the Hood. And I'll keep going. People will insult me. I don't give a fuck. I think American Me is over all those hood films in the 90s.
Like he's saying that American Me was better than all the films they made and everything else.
Nah,
like
I
that.
wouldn't say that. You saying American Me better than Boys in the Hood?
I would
Menace
say American
Society.
Me is better than Boys in the
Not
Hood.
Menace Society.
I would. Yeah, that's a tough one.
It was a gruesome.
That's a tough one. But
It was-
I would say, well,
it
me
was two
personally,
different aspects of movie because one was in jail,
In jail,
and
yeah.
other Menace was in the street.
Well, I mean, it started out in the street, right? And no,
Yeah, but it was-
American Me, part of it was in jail, but then a large
most of it-
part was on
but
the
most
street.
of
Because
it
remember,
was-
he gets out for a while and he's
Most
out
of
and
it,
he's
most
about.
Of, most of it was about jail, though. Bro.
Half of it.
Motherfuckers getting stabbed up, raped, all kind of shit to
Yeah,
that.
no, listen,
Stabbed
I've
100
always said
times.
American Me was the movie that made me say I'm never going to prison.
But American Me ain't
That movie.
American Me ain't fucking with colors.
I think it was a better movie than Colors.
Nah.
Okay, Menace Society and Boys in the Hood. I say Menace because it was a better made
I
movie.
say Menace, but if you say American Me and Colors, I'm going with Colors.
Okay, fair enough. That's your
Colors.
opinion.
Who was in Colors again? Was it
Sean Penn?
Sean Penn, and what's my other man?
Robert Duvall.
Robert Duvall's the older guy.
Yeah,
The
white guy.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah,
His
he's dope.
movies, like
He was in The
that.
Godfather.
Colors they all classics. Colors was a classic, bro.
It's a classic. I'm not denying it. Here's what's interesting, and you may or
That's
may
just
not
like
know
the
this.
Mac. The Mac is not a classic.
Definitely a
Think
classic.
about Richard Pryor was in there.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Goldie. That's
Yeah,
a classic.
it's a classic.
Bro. So I gotta
Cut
watch
yourself.
It. Yeah. So
Yeah.
cut yourself.
Yeah.
Like there's some movies. Like I'm a movie guy.
Okay.
Scarface. Classic.
Classic. I got it. Okay, so look, I'm going to give you some tidbits, you being a movie guy, which you may or may not know. The cast that you saw on Menace Society switched up a lot by the time it actually, got to film. Sharif, the Muslim character. Do you know who originally was supposed to be Sharif?
Two.
Tupac.
Oh shit.
Tupac was cast as Sharif, but he had a problem with the script. Basically, he's like, oh, I want you to explain why he turned Muslim, and I want more of a backstory. And he kept sort of arguing with the directors. And at one point, they got into a big argument, and he just said, fucking, he quit, and then he got fired. So Tupac should have been in Menace.
They should have Tupac play Kane then.
Well, no. Here's the
Well,
problem.
Kane was the- he
okay.
was
Yeah,
the
you're
best
right.
actor.
But they would have had him play Kane, but the
I couldn't see
problem
Tupac
was
playing Sharif after doing Juice, playing Bishop. the
exactly,
villain.
and that was sort
Juice,
of the problem.
another classic.
What the reason why he didn't initially have a lead role in Menace was because when they approached him to be in the film, he said, I'll be in it, but it has to be a secondary role because me and John Singleton have agreed that I'm never going to do a movie outside of him as a lead role. Tupac wanted him and Singleton to be like De Niro and Scorsese. You see what I'm saying?
That was smart. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you look, I mean,
But John
Tupac
Singleton,
had
John
done,
Singleton he didn't do Juice though.
no, but this was out. He met him after Juice. Juice was done like before Pac's first album.
Oh shit.
But it came out like whatever. You know how movies take like a year or two to come out?
I think Juice is what propelled him to a whole nother
Of course. But remember, he did Poetic Justice, which he starred in. Which was
Poetic
done by-
Justice was before Juice?
No, it was after.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That was the whole thing. He met Singleton afterwards, and the
Poetic
two of them
Justice
were like,
definitely
okay, like we're gonna team up.
Q-Tip was in that too, right? Yeah, he
Yeah.
got shot. Yeah.
Yeah, he got shot, exactly.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Do you know who originally was supposed to play O-Dog?
Cool.
Eazy-E.
Oh, that should have been crazy.
Yeah. And basically, Eazy-E was supposed to play O-Dog, but things became a little difficult. He wanted, I guess, control the project, whatever else. So they basically were like, okay, we got to pick a new O-Dog. So they're like, all right, well, here's all the people that we didn't think were going to work out. Here's Lorenz Tate, who's a 16-year-old who just did Disney.
Oh, he was 16 in that?
Yeah, he was like 16.
Oh, that shit.
And it was like, he had just done a bunch of Disney stuff, and they're like, okay, there's no way this guy's going to work. This is a Disney kid. He's cute.
Governor Tate.
And then look.
He happened to be the worst villain ever, all
Yeah.
times. Old dog.
AWAX, who was played by MC8.
Yeah, AWAX. Yeah.
Originally was supposed to be played by MC Ren.
Nah, but they did go with MC8. That was my guy.
Right.
And I
He did a
was
great
in-
job.
Yeah, I like Ren too, but
Yeah, I think Ren became religious right around that time, and he didn't want to do that type of role or whatever else.
Yeah.
So like, They went with 8, and it became a classic film.
Classic.
And like, for example, Bill Duke, like fucked up now, right?
Yeah. That's.
Did you notice? And I remember I interviewed Bill Duke about this. That was his only scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, that was the primary scene that you're doing fucked up, right?
Right. But I'm saying like there wasn't a lead up where this detective is looking for everyone. And
Bill Duke played in a lot of movies. It's crazy. I was watching Commando and he was one of the bad guys.
Of course.
Bill Duke.
No, he was a good guy.
No, was he a bad? No, he
Yeah,
was a bad guy. Commando and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He was part of Schwarzenegger's crew, wasn't he?
Nah, that was Predator. That was the Predator. You don't know your movies.
Sorry, Predator.
Watch Commando.
Predator and Commando sort of
Bill
meshed
Duke
together.
was the bad guy in
Okay.
Commando. Shout out to Bill Duke. He was in Commando. He blew up a boat. He was fucking trying to kill Schwarzenegger. I think I fell asleep to that last night, Commando.
Did you watch the Dear Mama documentary?
I watched some of it. It was great. It was good. Some good stuff. You got a lot to learn about his moms and, the movement, the whole Black Panther movement was crazy.
It was great. The way they used his acapellas, I thought was just brilliant.
Yeah, it was put together good.
Brilliant. And he's getting Tupac's getting a Walk of Fame star.
They deserve it.
Yeah,
Does
I think
Biggie get one too? Does Biggie have one yet?
I don't think so.
Well, Biggie's next because
He should be next,
what they did for the culture. We lost 2 greats. That was the kind of saddest thing because even though we entertained the beef, we loved the beef. We was on the edge of our seats for all the beef, the East Coast, West Coast. At the same time, we lost Tupac and Big. And, that was big, but I guess everything happened for a reason, man. But,
Well, Ice Cube recently did an interview where he said, "No Vaseline is the greatest diss song ever. No question." Now, of course, when you say that, especially when you talk about that era, Hit 'Em Up will come up as the obvious argument for that.
You know what it is with me? And let me explain something to you about hip hop with me. Like, to me, it's not right when people say, name your top 5 or name your top 10 or name your, or what's the biggest diss record? Because there's so many, there's different genres of diss records. We can go back to KRS and MC Shan. We can go back to, No Vaseline. But KRS and MC Shan was before that, right? They was before that time. KRS, MC Shan, whatever diss records you would say.
Well, KRS came first. The Bridge Is Over came first. MC Shan, I believe, was next. Was a response to that
MC
record.
Shan came next.
Yeah.
That's like classical.
There's Roxanne Shante diss records. There's
You got
Cool Mo D and Busy Bee. It goes on and on, right?
You got Busy D.
I get it.
You even had AZ and them beefing with who was they beefing with back in the days? Wasn't they beefing with Eazy-E and them back in the days? AZ and them drug dealers. Remember they had that song? It was a little East Coast West Coast thing.
Possibly. AZ, you talking about Mob Style? AZ?
Mob Style versus
I wasn't aware of this stuff that was happening. I was on the West Coast.
Mob Style.
You probably know about it more than me.
Mob Style, I think, was
country.
beefing with the West Coast.
With NWA? I can see that. Mob Style was the original gangster rap group of the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
Right? Who else was there? There were actual gangsters who started rapping.
Yeah, they were really getting money. Yeah.
So you're saying you're not going to pick between No Vaseline and Hit 'Em Up?
Well, I'm gonna go with Hit 'Em Up on that one. But shout out to Cube. No Vaseline was a classic too. What I'm saying is No Vaseline, Wangster, Ether. It's just a number of this. KRS One, The Bridge Is Over. There's a number of diss records that we could say are in the Hall of Fame. Just like when people be like,
Back to Back by Drake.
Yeah, Back to Back by Drake.
Yeah.
There's a number of diss records that are crazy. Ether and Jay-Z had what was that? You Were Lame. What was that?
Takeover.
Takeover.
Yeah.
There's so many. Biggie, Who Shot Ya?
But some songs last the test of time. And I think Hit 'Em Up, just because of Tupac.
You can't say that, bro. So look, so you think about this, right? You'll say Hit 'Em Up is one of the biggest records of all times, right?
Biggest diss songs. Not the biggest records, but the biggest diss songs.
But Who Shot Ya to me when
Who Shot Ya wasn't a diss song.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. I'm tired of arguing with people over this shit.
It's not. I've talked to the producer.
Tupac got shot and he came with the song.
I've talked to the producer. The song was recorded before Pac got shot.
You could talk to the producer, but when it came to East Coast and West Coast war, and we was going to high school, and we was in the cars listening to Big.
I know the way it was. I know the way it was taken.
Listen,
I got it, but I would put that as a diss song,
bro.
If you don't name the person, okay, let's put it like this: if the person's name doesn't get mentioned, it's not a diss song.
Look, the producer and everybody are bugging right now. You cannot say after and who shot you came after Hit 'Em Up and all that.
No,
right?
no. Who shot you came out while Pac was locked up.
Who shot?
He got out and he did hit him up.
No, but who shot you came after Pac this big already. What are you talking?
False.
Look it up.
Pac was in jail.
Look it up. Look it up. Look at the information.
You want to put money on it? You want to put money on it?
I put money on it.
You want to put money on it?
Yes.
How
We
much?
can put money.
How much?
500,000.
500?
We can put 1,000 on it.
Want to put 1,000 on it?
Put 1,000 on it.
You want to put 1,000 on it?
Put 1,000 on it. That Tupac diss Biggie, then Biggie came with Who Shot You. You're bugging. The diss record was out already.
Okay. So
What
here's
are
the
you talking
bet.
about?
It's on camera, right?
Put that
It's on camera.
1,000. My 1,000. Yeah.
$1,000.
Yes.
You're saying the release date.
No, listen. I'm telling you
the
this.
release date.
I'm telling you that Biggie. I'm telling you Tupac had a diss record, or he got shot. He definitely
don't try to change the story.
No, he got. Listen, Tupac got shot. Right.
Yes.
He got shot,
and he went to
Biggie,
prison.
Right, and Biggie dropped Who Shot You, nigga? What are you talking about? And Biggie and Tupac been dissing Biggie before Who Shot You came out. Look it up.
Okay.
What year did Who Shot You come out?
Okay. So this is what you're saying. Just to be clear.
What, you trying to confuse
No,
me?
I'm not confusing shit.
What are you
Just
saying?
to be clear. You're saying the release date of Who Shot You was after the release date of Hit 'Em Up. This is what you're saying?
I didn't say that. I didn't say. Now you're switching it up.
I'm not switching it up.
I'm telling you that there was a diss record before.
So you're saying Tupac dissed Biggie before Who Shot You?
Yeah.
What song?
It could have probably been on Machiavelli or something. I don't know.
Machiavelli came out way later.
What, Machiavelli?
Machiavelli came out after Pac died.
Well, it could have been on what? He dissed him on something.
Okay. You want to name the song?
Or you know, all right.
Your argument is falling apart right now. I'm trying to save you $1,000.
All right, save me $1,000.
I'm trying to save you $1,000.
All right, now you know what? It probably wasn't that, but Tupac definitely. Hold on.
Remember who your friends are. I just saved you $1,000 right there.
Hold on.
I talked you out of losing $1,000.
But look, Tupac got shot and Who Shot You came out, so it felt like a diss record.
Okay. Hit 'Em Up came out afterwards.
Okay, but was
Pac got shot? Listen. I know the story better than anyone. Pac got shot at the same time he had that rape case.
Okay,
going.
when did
he went to jail after because of the rape case? He was in jail.
So he was dead after Machiavelli?
He was dead when Machiavelli came out. Just like Biggie was dead when Life After Death came out.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But still.
See? Could have got you for $1,000.
So now look this. You mean to tell me there was no record dissing Biggie?
No.
Before Who Shot You?
No, they were friends. That's the whole point. They were friends, and then when he was in jail, Who Shot You came out. So Pac may have taken that as a diss song. And then, then he signed a death row while still in jail. And then he got out.
Something ain't
right. Then he
right.
got out, and that's when Hit 'Em Up came out.
But he got shot before Who Shot You came out.
Of course.
Well, there you go. It's a diss record.
But it wasn't a response to Tupac.
It was a response.
No. Response to what? It wasn't a response to a Tupac record.
Tupac had to have a record before
No,
Who Shot You dissing Biggie.
No, you're not gonna argue with me on
it's
some Tupac
something he
shit.
dissed him on. I'm
you
trying
don't
to
know more
remember.
about Tupac than that. I've done more Tupac related interviews than
Tupac
anyone
had
on
to
earth.
diss him on something.
The dissing started after Pac got out. He joined Death Row and he started dissing.
And he was dissing
Biggie.
him in interviews, shit like that.
Afterwards, after he got out, you gotta understand that the Tupac timeline isn't that long. You know what I'm saying? It's like he got super hot, he got shot, went to prison, got out. 11 months later, he was dead. It all happened very quickly. It seemed like a lot because there's so much mushed in there, but I'm saying like it happened very quickly. Yeah,
Right.
$1,000.
You saved me $1,000.
I saved you $1,000.
But Who Shot You? I think in the hip hop world, people will look at that as a diss record to me.
I think it could be interpreted as
I
a
would
diss
put
record,
me
but
if
it was recorded before Pac even got shot. So now was it very
It
poor
still
timing?
came out after he got shot.
I know it was very poor
So it was a
timing,
diss record.
and I think Puff fucked up.
Even in the movie, enough of them was saying, "You think we should play this?" Because Tupac was talking shit, and they dropped Who Shot You in the movie. But what I'm saying is,
but that's not based on
I
reality.
remember the East Coast, West Coast shit. I remember Pac got shot, and I remember being in the car, and they said we playing this new Biggie, and they was like, yo, it's exclusive, and it's Who Shot You, nigga. And I remember when that beat came on. That's one of the best beats ever created.
Yeah, no, it was an incredible song.
I don't know who
I mean,
produced
I bumped it. And listen, people on the West Coast, I was hanging out with dudes that were like, yo, he dissed Pac in that record. Fuck Biggie.
Yeah.
And I get it, but technically, I wouldn't consider that a diss
Who
record.
Shot You? Yes, it was.
Okay. Agree to disagree.
It was a diss record.
Well, I mean, as
Who
someone...
else was he talking about? Turn the weed to the officer. Beat hard to beat Brooklyn streets. Come on, nigga. Fuck all this bickering beef.
I can see sweat trickling down your cheek.
Your heartbeat stop.
Sasquatch feet. Rumbling, shaking the concrete.
Then
Yeah,
the
no, it was
shit
a hell of a
stopped.
song.
Neighbors
It was a hell of a
calling
song.
cops. Heard man shut. Saw me in the chop. 3 1/4. Slaughter. Come on, bro. It's going in on Pac on that one.
As someone that was knee deep in some of the most serious beefs in hip hop, when you look at NBA YoungBoy and Lil Durk, and you look at all the violence that have surrounded that situation, and it still hasn't been resolved. They're still taking shots at each other, and they're still talking shit and everything else like that. If you could sit both of them down and give them some advice as an OG who's been through it, who's lost people, people are dead around G-Unit beefs, people have been to prison, people have gotten beat up, stabbed, shot, whatever else. Your house, your mom's house got shot up. All of this intermixes with music beef. If you could sit down YoungBoy and Durk, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to just relax because the Fed's watching. So, you know, the fans, they'd be like, yo, go slide for this, slide for that. And, you know, you can't get in the mix of that shit because the feds are, you know, sometimes the feds are on these lives. The police are on these lives. They watch, and that's the biggest game, is the feds. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, I would just tell them, you know, get your money because for me, I would say to them that nothing is exempt. Nobody's exempt. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's exempt. Like, and they don't care how much money you got. You know, like you say it all the time, R. Kelly got, I believe you could fly, he in jail for 80 years. You would never think a motherfucker that Grammy Award winner, you know what I'm saying? 80 years. So I look at him as an example. How much time R. Kelly got?
I believe it's
I'm
life
talking about that
at this
on Tyson
point.
shit.
I mean, it pretty much seems like natural
It's
life
like
right now.
every state he go to, he's getting 40 years.
Yeah.
40 years. New York want to give him 40. They want to give him 40. Just imagine you being a Grammy Award winner to that. I don't think that's what God had planned out for us.
You want to hear something real quick?
What?
Talking about R. Kelly?
This call is now being recorded.
Okay, so I'm recording this phone call right now. Who do I have on the phone right now? This is me, R. Kelly. I hope you recognize my voice. Absolutely.
You got the R. Kelly interview?
I got one, but I'm not putting it out.
What was he talking about?
I mean...
Let me hear some of it. Is this before the trial or?
Yeah, this was maybe about a month ago. Well, this was after the trial. He'd already been found guilty.
Let me hear some of it. What is he saying?
I'll play it for you offline. But
Why
basically...
you gonna play it now? I want to hear what
well,
R.
no,
Kelly was saying.
but the whole point, I'm not putting it out. Basically, one of his people set up the interview and... You know, I really wanted the interview to sort of focus on his story and everything else like that, his music, and, you know, maybe touch on some of the stuff. But basically, the whole time, he was basically laying out a conspiracy of why he's in jail and how certain people turned against him and how he's blaming certain public figures and certain, like, people in the system. And I'm just like, you know, this is not the type of interview I want to put out. You know what I'm saying? It's just not.
Yeah.
It's not my job to try to get R. Kelly out of prison because ultimately I feel R. Kelly did it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
100%.
Now, did he do everything that he was charged for? Probably not. Were the parents very guilty as well? Yes. But I've seen the tape that was circulating back in the day. And you know what I'm saying? I think enough stories match up where I think he really was, you know, sleeping with little kids. And I don't want to be the one responsible for trying to get him out on
You
that.
know what's the sad thing about that is like, It got to be like some kind of disease or mental illness because it's like you got all the money in the world. You can have any woman you want in the world.
You're a pedophile. You don't want every woman in the world. You want underage kids. That's what you want.
And
it has nothing to do with money.
And you know, in the hood, what's two things you could be? The worst thing is a pedophile and a rat.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Touch kids, you're weird. You know, and we got daughters. We got daughters out here. We got sisters. We got mothers.
Yeah.
You know, just it's a sad thing that, you know, they say people need help. When they get touched, they need help. And I understand that. But when you go do it out to somebody else's kid, it doesn't make you a better person. And
yeah, no, it was fucked up. And I blame the parents a lot because a lot of parents look at their kids as a way of getting out of their financial situation.
Yeah, and I know it wasn't like they meant for it to happen, but you know, it's the Pied Piper, you know, you know, this dude's talking some freaky stuff in this song. So it's like, yo, all right, cool. You could go to the studio, but if your daughter's 16, you should be in the studio with her. And
you should be there 24 hours.
It's
whatever you're with, I'm the guardian. Whenever she's with you, I'll be there as well. And if you're serious about doing music, you wouldn't care about that.
Is it true the richer you get, the weirder you get sometimes with some guys?
You know some rich people. You tell me.
I don't know.
We both know rich people.
Super
you
weird,
probably know
man.
richer people than I do.
I know a lot of rich people. They ain't weird like R. Kelly though, bro.
Yeah, no, that was probably happening early on.
Right.
Like, you know, the Aaliyah shit happened relatively early in his career. You know what I mean? So it's like the story was that he got her pregnant, which is why there's a marriage certificate. He was trying to marry her to try to avoid the statutory rape situation.
No, you see the difference. This is what you got to understand. In the hood, where I'm from, there was mad R. Kellys in the hood, right? There was dudes that'll be 40 messing with a girl that I'm in high school with at the time, probably she's 16, 10th grade. So there's R. Kellys in the hood, bro.
Yeah.
There's mad R. Kellys in the projects in the hood. The whole difference between him is he was famous.
Yeah. Mega famous. Famous.
So from the beginning of the time, from being on the block, you'd be like, you know, a girl you be in school with and she got a dude coming to pick up in the car, he might be 30, 40. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. He messing with an underage girl. You've seen it in the hood. The difference is he was famous. He had a winning awards and girls are pissing in buckets and all kinds of graphic stuff that you gotta kind of be sick to even think like that.
Now, listen, I feel you. I mean, look, we had
a lot of girls use the bathroom is sickening, bro. It's like it's ridiculous.
We had, you know, you mentioned her in our last interview, and I actually interviewed her. It was a Scarlet, right? I just had her do an interview recently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you know her backstory?
Mm-mm.
It's horrible. Her mom died. She got into she got hit by a car or something like that. So her mom died. So her aunt basically had her live with her, and she would describe how basically her aunt's boyfriend would drug her and rape her over and over again, and her aunt knew about it.
My aunt's boyfriend would like molest me. Drug me. Take advantage of me. And she would just watch it happen.
When you say drug you, what does that mean exactly?
Drug my food, my drink.
As a kid, as like a 15-year-old, a grown man would just rape her over and over again. It was just.
God bless Scarlett. I didn't even know that. She never I met her. I actually had her. She had a $1 million dinner with 50. I let her sit down with 50. She can show you. Scarlett, you owe me $1 million. She had a meeting with 50 because I set up. Because I kind of, you know, I love the New York artists. I always try to help New York artists as much as I can. You know, it's where we from, and we got to support where we from too. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love the New York artists. Or shout to Scarlett. I know she got a new deal and stuff.
Yeah, she was signed to Epic under
that's terrible.
Swizz Beats was working with her.
And
you know something though, I think everyone, the one, well, a few clips have gone viral from that interview, but the one clip that really I keep seeing all over the place, and please, every artist, like please just do some homework before you get into the music industry. Because I was explaining to her how a record deal
Oh yeah, I think
is
I
just
did
a
see.
loan.
I
See what
did
I'm
see.
talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah. It was
Yeah.
just a business loan. I see
So
that.
it's going everywhere.
That was some
and she
good.
was like, really?
That was some. Yeah, that was some good information that
Yeah.
you was giving her because I mean, but it's the music business and
Yeah.
what I learned from being around 50, like earlier Columbia days, is him going to the office every day, and this is before he got shot and Get Rich or Die Trying. We'll go to Columbia every other day and he'll get the information from whoever's there. If somebody works for Tommy Mottola, this guy works in A&R department, you get the information on your own. The information is never gonna, all you artists, the information is never gonna be given to you. It's the music business. It's the business up for fucking you. So it's like it's like you gotta get the information on your own and privy to it.
Yeah, I mean, she never realized that if you get $1 million deal, that doesn't mean $1 million in your pocket
course.
clean. It means they're loaning you $1 million.
I seen what you explained to her,
and she was like, you could tell the light bulb was going off in her head.
Obviously,
Yeah.
It's really kind of like a bank. Like, okay, we're going to give you this million, we're going to give you this budget and blah, 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 but you got to earn it all back until you see any profit after that, which is the whole point. You don't want that million to be the last
So
money
wait, you
see.
don't keep the money they give you?
Not exactly. Not exactly. They'll give you, if they say it's $1 million deal, they'll say, okay, you get a certain amount of money up front, but then we're going to budget $1 million for your project, meaning that 200,000 might come from, your promo tour. Like the label's going to have to pay for all that.
She obviously
didn't know
the information. That should have been information her management give her or whoever's handling her
Her
business.
manager's probably mad at me at this
Yeah,
point.
it's probably manager because the music business is like if you don't know, nobody's gonna tell you about your publishing and everything else. You have to learn that on your own. And a lot of people get ripped off. I always respect 50 because our deals was 2 albums deals, and the whole thing with Interscope is we came in a funny time. Like people be like, yo, how they get dropped from Interscope? We came in a funny time where Interscope didn't want to pay us as much money as 50 was going to get us. He was about to get us like $10 million between me, Banks, and Buck. But with all the 360 deals and stuff like that, and you got Soulja Boy and all the new guys coming, they're like, why are we gonna give them 7, 8 million, 10 million when we can get somebody new and get the 360 deals? Because you gotta remember by the time the second album came, 360 deal was there. Remember Soulja, he had Yums, or Interscope, he had the clothing deal, he had the
ringtones,
deal. Yeah.
everything. Yeah, no, I remember.
I think after the vitamin water deal. After 50 did the vitamin water deal and all the money was to himself, I think that's when Interscope, it was around the 360s, around that second album.
They were like, okay, we needed to get a piece of that.
Because it was time for me, because people like, yo, why you ain't drop a second album? I got advance, a good advance for the second album. But we were supposed to have a big G-Unit deal for at least 8 million, 10 million. And it didn't happen because they wanted, I think it was supposed to be 360.
They want to restructure.
Where they get the merch and the shows, and because 360 came later on.
Yeah, although from what I understand, and I have friends who are high-end managers, even though the 360 deals say that they get a piece of the shows, no one really gets, the labels really don't get show money like that. They just can't collect it. They wouldn't know how. But essentially they make up for it by taking most of the record sales money.
I think it.
I mean?
I think it when it came into Interscope, I think it was all of the success of G-Unit, because G-Unit clothing, we had the video games, 50 had vitamin water, and I think that's what propelled them for 360 deals. Because remember, prior to that, we didn't even know what a 360 deal was.
Speaking of video games, did you hear that? This is a rumor that Grand Theft Auto 6 might be able to allow people to transfer the money they make in the game into real money.
Oh, that'd be great.
Imagine just going out robbing everyone in the game and then cashing out afterwards.
That'll be crazy, bro. That'll be crazy. You can rob everybody in the game and then
cash out.
Cash out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got my PlayStation 5 like a couple of months, probably last year. And I'm into it, man. I'm loving it. Playing that 2K. I know you don't like video games, though. You said video games is a waste of time.
It is a waste of time.
How is it when you're making money off of it?
Now, unless you're making money off of it. Now, for example, I've actually figured out how to utilize video games. Like what I told myself in the past 6 months was that whenever I play video games, I'm only going to play it on the treadmill. So now I knock out an hour or two a day on the treadmill playing video games, and I'm in the best shape of my life.
Oh, shit. That's a good one. What games do you play on the treadmill?
You got to play certain kind of games. You can't play like Fortnite and shit because you can't like be walking
Yeah, that's what I'm
and
saying.
whatever.
When
But
I'm
like
playing-
turn-based games like Civilization or Slay the Spire or like deck building games, like stuff where you don't have to play in real time. You can play a move and then it plays out and it's like more strategy.
Because when I'm playing Return of the Jedi, I definitely can't be on the treadmill.
Right, you can't do real time shit. But certain types of games,
yeah.
I found certain games, like I say, Slay the Spire is probably the best game I found for that.
Best game right now is Return of the Jedi, man.
It's a dope game. Listen,
going
there's a lot of dope games, but I figured out a way to take my video games and turn it into something positive.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But you know what it is for me with video games? I was one of them kids that, like, I like to play tag and all that, but I wasn't like, there were certain days, like when Nintendo came out and Duck Hunt, I was one of them kids that'll stay in the house and play.
Yeah, me too.
Nintendo for extra hours because it was just so amazing to me, video games. I was just... Contra, I remember when that came out, Mario Brothers. So I was just, from PlayStation, I always just been a video game guy. So now with the PlayStation, when you look at the PlayStation, sometimes it keep people out of trouble, man, because a lot of dudes could be on the block causing mischief, and they'll play that game, they're joining groups, they're playing ball against each other on there. It keeps you out of trouble, man, in video games sometimes.
Listen, I get it.
I'd
I get
stay
it.
in the house and play
My
2K.
first, what was your first ever video game console?
I would say Nintendo.
Okay, mine was the ColecoVision.
Yeah.
See, I'm an OG video game guy.
I don't remember Coleco.
ColecoVision, where you could play Donkey Kong and it looked just like the arcade.
Right.
You know? Well, speaking of video games, you were just on Mike Tyson's podcast.
Definitely.
And you talked about Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh, yeah, that was, come on.
I've never gotten to Tyson in Punch-Out. Have you?
Oh, yeah. No, I think.
That shit was impossible.
I think I did get to him.
Really?
I think I did.
I never got to Tyson.
I
That shit was too
don't
hard.
think I never beat him.
Yeah, because I heard with one
used
punch
to-
he would just kill you.
Yeah, I
basically.
used to play Mike Tyson Punch-Out all the time, but it was just, you start off, you're gonna play Glass Joe, you're gonna fight him at least a good 10 times.
Right. The Soda
Then
Popinski.
I think, yeah, Soda Popinski. And what was the fat guy? The hippo
Raging
guy.
Bull.
To me, the hippo, what was the hippo dude name? And you know what? Mike never played it, and that was strange to me. I was like, that's like the Hall of Fame of video games.
There's Piston Honda, Von Kaiser, King Hippo.
King Hippo's the third guy.
I think so, yeah. Don Flamenco, he's a little later on. Glass Joe was the first guy.
Von Hazer's the second dude.
Maybe you're right, yeah.
That's the dude that punch like this.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's what you gotta keep
Super
moving
Macho
those.
Man, Bald Bull, that was like the third or fourth guy. Soda Popinski. Man, there's a lot.
Because how many dudes you got to fight to get to Tyson?
A lot. Great Tiger. Shit, there's a lot of people here. Damn.
Yeah,
you gotta fight a lot.
No, I've been playing that game for days.
And Tyson owned the house that 50 ended up purchasing later on. Did 50 just sell that house?
I don't know what he got going on with that.
Yeah.
house. I mean, to me, it was just a house that he was never there anyway.
Well, it's far. It's in Connecticut.
Yeah, it was in Connecticut, but it was so big that we bring the party to us. We had firing range in there. We had motorbikes. We had
You had a club.
We had one of the biggest pools in the world in there.
Really?
Yeah, and we had indoor pool, outdoor pools. We had everything, sauna, full gym. So it was like, we used to go there and just get away. 50 was never there, so it would just be a lot of parties in there.
Yeah, I guess Tyson bought it from a guy that was like a crook who had like bankrupted the state of Connecticut or some shit. Like there's an interesting story behind this house.
It's a big house. I mean, fifth set the trends, man.
How many square feet? Let me see. 50,000 square foot house with 21 bedrooms, 25 bathrooms.
Yeah, man.
Indoor pool, hot tub, green screen room, indoor court, multiple game rooms, a recording studio, and even a nightclub.
Strip club. Fire range was the craziest.
Yeah.
The firing range was ridiculous.
Crazy. Well, you said something interesting in the interview. You said back in the day, Queens got the money, but you would hire Brooklyn guys for hits. And Mike Tyson was like, yep.
Yeah. That's how it was. Brooklyn was like an aggressive place. Like it was trust me, I'm quite sure you hear names like the Mayos. They was getting money back in the days. You know what I'm saying? motherfuckers that was getting money, but there was motherfuckers that was real ruthless in Brooklyn at that point. You know what I'm saying? In the 90s. Like 50 come around. His niggas at that point used to come around. The motherfuckers was just ruthless. You know what I'm saying? From Brooklyn. You know what I mean?
Sure. I mean, it's kind of an interesting reputation to have. The city where you hire hitmen from.
I mean.
Yeah. Yep. Me and Tyson had a little moment when we did the interview.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Let me play this for you real quick.
He didn't want to hit you, did he?
Zip was kind of the go-between between like Puffy and all the Southside Crips.
Maybe.
You know, what is it, you know, here you are, this multimillionaire, and, you know, it seems like you've always been attracted to the guys that are still in the streets to a certain degree. Do you think that's a fair statement?
You think I'm attracted to them?
Well, not attracted to them, but I mean, you like having them around. You're friends with them and you
You
maintain
think I like
this.
having them around?
I'm just asking.
You think I'm friends? What do you think? You think I like having them around?
I don't know. You just spoke nicely about Zip, so I just thought.
Yeah, you know who these guys are? When you talk, what do you say about me? I'm this big, whatever I am, right? But know who those guys are? Those are the guys that when I'm, whoever I am is a nobody, I'm here, those are the guys that live in the same building with me. That gives my mother salt or sugar if they need, or milk. They're the same guys.
That's true, man. That's another thing too you gotta keep in mind, bro. A lot of dudes you wanna keep it real with the people that was there for you when nobody was there for you.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, he explained it very well, but there was this one moment
when you
where
said
he was
attracted,
like,
he didn't like
attracted.
that. Yeah,
He's
he
like,
looked like he was gonna knock you out right there.
it was definitely a frightful moment
Yeah.
because I'm doing the interview because where you did, I don't know where you guys did the podcast. I don't think was in his gym, was it?
No.
It was a different location.
Somewhere.
When we interviewed him, it was really Zab Judah's interview, but it was under a VladTV umbrella, and I sat in and asked him questions. It was actually in his gym, and we were doing the interview in his boxing ring. So I'm sitting here literally in the ring with Tyson as he's getting annoyed with me.
Yeah.
You know?
It looked like he was about to knock your ass out in that one. What
I
year
mean,
was that?
I was definitely concerned
What
for a
year
second.
was that?
This was like 2 years ago.
Shit. You look like he's gonna knock your ass out.
I mean, look, man, we grew up where Tyson was the most fearsome person alive, right?
Of course, man. I mean, you know, I still like, yo, bro, like, you know, for me, man, I'm big on Mike Tyson, bro. He's like one of the greatest of all times, bro. You know, it's him, Muhammad Ali, Mayweather, De La Hoya. There's a whole list. Javante, there's a whole list of greats, man. And, you know,
But I put Tyson on top of that list at his prime, even though he doesn't have the Mayweather perfect record. But the way that Tyson was knocking people out in 30 seconds,
I mean,
I just never saw anything like that before or after.
I think it was more of the character of Tyson.
That too?
Tyson, you know, you never heard somebody say they're going to eat their opponent kids before.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was something different, and he come in, he's scared, and, you know, they say, I forgot who they was saying. One of my friends was telling me he had a style like, not Marciano. They say he had a style like Jack Dempsey. I think it's Jack Dempsey, where Jack Dempsey, if I'm correct, I might be wrong, but Jack Dempsey never wore a robe. He never wore he just would come out trunks, shirt, you know, he never had a robe. So Tyson, when he came out, he had
a towel over his head, basically.
Yeah, towel over his head. He just
no socks,
no robe,
no
socks.
black
He's
trunks,
just coming out, he's fucking chiseled,
fuck you up,
and he just looks like he's just gonna fucking kill his opponent. So it was more of a fear thing. With I think Tyson was like, you know, every fighter has their different thing. Like Mayweather is, you know, he talks shit, he got money. Muhammad Ali talks shit, he had the poems and he's fast. But Tyson was more, he talks shit, but it's he's just a scary motherfucker from Brownsville, bro. Shout out to the old Brownsville.
Yep.
So I always have a good time meeting him, man. I told you my first time meeting him, you know, it was in California for Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah.
On premiere, he was there, and it was just crazy, bro.
He convinced you to eat caviar.
Yeah, he convinced me to eat caviar, man.
Yep.
That final lap tour is coming soon, so make sure I get you some tickets, man.
Okay. Oh yeah.
You know,
I got backstage.
Backstage, I got you, Vlad.
That's what it
You
is.
can bring your security. You're good. I got the 134 tape. I'm dropping again too, and I'm gonna be missing from Vlad. I could probably a couple of more interviews because I'm gonna be all around the world.
So you're going on tour for the Final Lap tour.
Yeah, I'm going on tour.
But it's 50 featuring Busta Rhymes and who else?
We're gonna have a whole bunch of
Well, no, but there was an official hold on.
Make sure y'all get y'all tickets. You know what I'm saying? And get some Branson and some of the Shem too. 50 cutting them checks. Good looking 50. You know what I'm saying?
Because I remember there was an official
Yeah, we out in July.
I remember Buster was one of the opening acts.
Yeah, shout out to Buster, man. One of the best performers in the world.
Oh yeah, but Buster on stage is
come on. So,
and Jeremiah. There we go.
Yeah, 50 Buster and Jeremiah. Green Light Gang. Y'all niggas know what it is, man.
Well, and then since our last interview, you had your first solo show
Yeah.
in New York. I was out of town, so I couldn't go.
Oh, you know what? I postponed that.
Oh, you postponed it?
Yeah, I postponed it.
Oh.
We gotta do another one. Because I had tour dates.
What happened?
It's been a crazy year for me, man. I've been
That's a good
touring
thing, right?
everywhere. Yeah, it's been one of my best years, thanks to you, Vlad. And you got me out there, and I'm more branding myself and marketing myself, from Breakfast Club, and shout out to the Drink Champs. About to do your man Nori soon.
Are you doing Drink Champs?
Yeah, I'm
That's what's
supposed to be doing it. Shout out to Nori. Queens get the money.
Yeah.
Me
and Nori are cool again. I mean.
Yeah, definitely. I'm good.
There was no. I said me and Nori are cool again.
Cool.
There was
great,
a little
man.
moment where it seemed like there was some tension between us, but we ended up texting each other and working it all out.
Definitely.
So shout out to Nori. Congrats on all the success.
Shout out to Nori, man. I got a chance to see him. I think we was in Vegas. We was in Vegas for the Usher thing, and that was cool. Nori was there. Jermaine Dupri was there. Jermaine Dupri told Murder keep him out the fucking wrap up. So that was funny. I was laughing. So we was laughing. Nelly was there. Young Jock, and it's always fun to be around these guys. These guys are legends, man.
There's a story that was circulating, and I don't know whether you know about it or not, but some dude said that he saw 50 Cent beat up a snitch in front of J-Lo. Do you have any idea what that's about?
I don't know. Maybe so. I would, 50, his Tone and Poke days, he was crazy.
Oh, it was during that era.
He was, I know J-Lo was around the Tone and Poke days.
Okay.
He probably did beat up a snitch. I don't know. It could have been a motherfucker. I don't know. Somebody from the hood, or I don't know what it was. But 50 was, he's nice with his hands. So I seen him beat up quite a few people. You know what I mean? But in the studio, yeah, he could potentially beat somebody up doing something stupid. Either they could be with him or could have been somebody else.
Okay.
I could see that.
DC Young Fly's, longtime partner and the mother of his 3 children, Miss Jackie O, passed away.
Yeah, rest in peace to her, man.
32 years old.
Sad, man.
From a mommy makeover.
Yeah, sad, man.
Whew. Listen, the details aren't out yet, and this is not confirmed, but the rumors that are circulating was that the doctor she went to was not
I seen that.
board certified doctor. He was board recommended, but he wasn't actually board certified. And there's another rumor saying that she may not have paid for the surgery in exchange for promo or something of that sort.
Yeah, I mean.
And it's oh man, to hear that just breaks my heart. Because so many women and men, but mostly women, they go out of the country because it's cheaper in DR, or it's cheaper in Brazil, or they go to these back alleys, these motel rooms where they give these illegal shots, or they go to these doctors that are not board certified. And if you're going to get plastic surgery, and listen, entertainment industry, people can get plastic surgery. People can get their bodies done, their hair done, their teeth done. But it's your body. You only have one.
The whole thing is this, man. What makes it sad is, and condolences to DC Young Fly.
Yeah, I've interviewed him before. Nice guy, man.
I was in Tycoon when he was a real nice guy.
Nice guy.
I love DC, and I feel like he's came a long way in his career.
Yeah.
And it's sad, for his lady, and he has 3 kids by his. You know, that's the saddest thing is the kids.
Of course.
Imagine
having to tell your kids. Yeah. Mommy's gone.
Yeah. That's the saddest thing, and condolences to him and his family. And I mean, I try not to judge because I'm not one of them guys that get in woman conversations. When women talk about certain things, I grew up, when women are talking, the men is on a whole nother side. And sometimes we engage in conversations. But I don't body shame or anything like that. I just think everybody wants to look good. We're in times where, you want to look good. So if a woman does get a surgery, a BBL, or like get her body done, I'm
Yeah,
like,
no. I'm
I'm
not
no,
shaming.
you're
I'm not putting
judging.
it down. I'm saying that if you want to do it,
It's
you know, it's
cool.
your body and it's cool. But don't try to cut corners.
Yeah,
Because you know something?
don't-
That's how Kanye's mom died.
Right. Yeah,
Right? Kanye's mom went to a doctor who said, we could do it, but you need to go through a series of steps to
definitely.
get cleared. She said, fuck that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go to some other doctor who's not going to require all that at some strip mall.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
she ended up dying.
Definitely go to somebody that's qualified.
Man, go to the
and-
best
Yeah,
doctor you
yeah.
could find. And if you don't have the money, save up.
Right.
Save up.
Yeah, because you know we come from the era where when we was doing videos, girls was getting the needles and going to the dudes, and you was hearing about. I think one of the models of some got arrested back in the days. She was, and I think she was in a couple of videos.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, with the huge ass.
with the huge ass, and she was putting like plastic in the girl's ass and shit like that. So it's just at that point is everybody wants to feel accepted and feel good about themselves. So it's terrible, like you said. Don't cut corners.
Pebbles the model.
Yeah, it was Pebbles.
I mean, look, Cardi B, in my first interview with her, she talked about her butt shots. And she got them illegally.
Yeah, that's
she
what I'm
said
saying.
she went to a motel room and they shot her up and she doesn't even know what it is to this day.
Well, when half of the strippers and the bartenders in New York City have illegal ass shots that is done practically by the same person, it's just like, yeah, I heard that some women died of it, but it's like, what are the odds? Like, what are the odds it's gonna be me? Like, what are the odds? I mean, I could have died with getting my boobs done, It's just like, it was on some what are the odds type of thing. The only thing was that when I was getting my ass shots, I was awake and I almost passed out. Like, I was like, I feel like I'm about to faint. Like, I was saying to the lady and she's like, well, you only have one ass cheek done. So she gave me some milk and some cookies and then we just continued the procedure. And it's like, when I finished, his ass was fatter.
And look, this is one of the biggest artists in the world.
Today.
Telling you that
Back then, though, she was just a stripper.
Yeah, she was just a dancer. But what
Right.
I'm saying is one of the biggest artists in the world telling you she cut corners before to look good, right?
Mm-hmm. And now
no
she's one of the
shade.
biggest artists in the world.
And now she's one of the biggest artists in the world. But what I'm saying is everybody wants to look good and feel good about themselves. So I understand that. But like you said, don't cut corners.
No.
But natural or BBW,
BBL.
Or BBL.
BBW,
I mean,
something
but
else.
BBW, I mean, I love all styles of clowns.
That's big girls.
Nah, I mean, when you think
Big, beautiful women.
when you think BBW, you're not thinking big girls. It's nice sized girls.
Okay.
I love all kind of women. But what I'm saying to you is BBL or natural, it's all good.
It's all good. I'm not telling women not to do it. I'm not telling anyone not to do it.
Just don't cut corners.
Yeah.
I agree.
If your teeth are crooked or yellow or whatever, go get veneers, man. It's all good. But don't go to the cheapest veneer place you could find and end up with these big Tic Tac teeth. That you see sometimes.
Or veneers where you eat a sandwich and the teeth break. or
Tooth
something
falls
like
out.
that. Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's what
saying?
you want to avoid.
Don't go to fucking DR, for the BBL deal of a lifetime and wake up without a kidney, because that happens.
Yeah. I mean,
You know what I'm saying? A lot of times these doctors who lose their licenses in America will go to DR or some of these other countries and continue to practice because they don't give a shit over there. They don't really check. Like, so it's just like.
But who do we blame? Do we blame the doctors or do we blame ourselves, society? Because listen,
it's a blameless situation. It's just a sad situation. But I feel like when someone passes away, we got to sit there and learn a few lessons.
But you gotta understand this of how a female feels about it, right? And me being in the industry, I've seen females get their body done and their whole life will change.
I know, I got it. Which is why I'm
You know
not
what I'm
telling
saying?
women not to do it.
Or a female go to the gym and their whole life will change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's easy for us, but these girls, they get their body done. Now they're getting attention. They got ball players in their DMs, rappers, all type of scammers or drug dealers.
Yeah.
They got all kinds of people in their DM. They never got that attention before. And because they got that work done.
Yeah,
And
but
everybody's gonna
men
look,
do the
huh?
same thing. Like, there's an operation to make you taller now? You heard about this?
I seen that.
You could put metal rods in your legs and you could gain like 5 inches. So you can go from 5'7" to 6 feet overnight. but you got these metal rods in your legs, and you got to like learn how to walk again, and you got to go through a bunch of shit.
That's too much for.
It's too much for me too. Listen,
5
you
inches
got
of height.
you got penis operations.
Oh,
you know,
man,
you always want that 12-inch penis. Go ahead. They'll put some implants in that shit. Listen, dudes are getting BBLs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know, listen, men get their teeth done, men get their hair done. You know what I'm saying? Men get tans, you know, spray on tans, whatever. Everyone is guilty. Everyone wants to look good. Everyone's vain. Everyone wants to do it. That's all good. If you only have this one avatar, you know, in your lifetime, which is your body, and if you want to use technology to enhance it, that's cool. But don't cut corners, because I'd heard that she died in her hotel room right after the operation. But usually in situations like this, you have a nurse who's in your hotel room for a certain number of time.
They got the homes for certain.
Yeah, exactly. They got places that you can go to for the recovery times.
Yeah.
The fact that she died by herself in the hotel room and there was no nurse there means that, oh man, she didn't have a nurse. Like all these steps that you could have done to prevent this tragedy, it breaks my heart because I really like DC Young Fly.
Until DC tells us what happened, everything is just, we don't know what happened, man.
No, I feel you.
The whole thing is, the terriblest thing is she's a beautiful woman.
Yes.
With 3 children.
Yes.
That lost her life.
Yes.
And DC is one of the nicest guys in the industry, in the business. You don't run into guys like that. Nick Cannon, guys is cool over there.
Cool guy, man. He's a cool guy. He's funny. He's had a hell of a career that started, you know what I mean? The fact that someone with a tattoo between their eyebrows is able to get to this height. Right. You know what I'm saying? Against all odds. You know what I mean? Who had a crazy, you know, we talked about his background and he was getting arrested as a kid and getting into all types of dumb shit. To go and become a working actor, a working comedian, always on tour, 85 South show is popping. He's genuinely funny.
And you gotta shout out Nick Cannon too, because what he did for everybody over there is amazing. Like he put a lot of money in people's pockets. Hitman Holla conceded all of them over there. Like it's just he really helped them guys out. So and DC is definitely a hustler, man. So
yeah,
condolences to his wife, man. I know it's hard losing somebody, especially you got kids with.
It's devastating. I don't think it's beyond hard. Yeah. I think it's beyond hard. I can't imagine the conversation he had with his kids. I'm wondering if his kids are old enough to even know. He may just mommy's on vacation for a while until he tries to figure out how to
you never could know until you in that situation, Vlad.
It's sad, man. It's terrible and it's sad. But like I said, I always want to, in situations, you always want to say, okay, like this person's gone, and let's learn lessons for us. You know what I mean? A wise man learns from others' mistakes.
Right.
You know, a regular man learns from his own mistakes. You know what I mean? So it's like, let's all try to be a little wise and look at the situation and say, okay, if I do decide to get a mommy makeover, which is a very common operation, but it's also a very dangerous operation.
But they got money, so you doubt they would go to a doctor where they're trying to cut corners. It was just... This guy probably, a guy was probably just referred and probably did work with him before and everything. Yeah. Work with the doctor before her. She did work with the doctor probably before.
Yeah, I don't know.
It probably wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
Sometimes, things happen and it's unfortunate, and it's a sad thing. And, hopefully, God will bless her and her family that, it's a lot of grieving for DC as well as the family, It's messed up.
Rest in peace, Tina Turner. We just lost her, one of the greats.
That's
who's also an actress.
Definitely.
Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome was a classic.
Yeah. Come on, that was definitely a classic. What was that? The second one or the first one?
I think the second one. Definitely not the first one.
Because
the
first
one was just Mad
Max. Because
there was the second one.
Yeah,
Beyond Thunderdome.
Because how many is there? Yeah, that was a Thunderdome.
Yeah. I think there was 2.
That was the second. There was 4.
There was a reboot that happened a few years ago, but I think originally there was 2 or 3. Let me see. Hold on.
It's so crazy how one movie could fucking set off your career to.
Yeah. So there's Mad Max that came out in '79.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, I was wrong. So Mad Max was original with just him.
Yeah.
Just Mel Gibson. That's '79. Yeah. Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, was in '81.
And then
Beyond Thunderdome was '85.
Yeah.
And then after that started the reboots. So the Mad Max Fury Road came out in 2015.
Yeah, Thunderdome. Welcome to the Thunderdome, Tina Turner.
And
there's a lot of movies that a lot of
actors
like, what was that Bruce Lee movie? Kareem Abdul was in.
Oh yeah.
Remember he fought Bruce Lee for
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Let me see.
That was a fucking classic. Forgot.
That was Game of Death.
Yeah, Game of Death. Kareem was in there.
Yep. That was
that
when,
the one?
that was the yellow
Did
suit.
he fight Chuck Norris in that one?
Chuck Norris. Let me see. I know what you're talking about. We just talked about that. Let me see. Bruce Lee.
To me, the 80s and the 70s had the best.
That was the Way of the Dragon.
Way of the Dragon. Oh, all right.
Yeah. And before we stop this, usually we end things on an RIP kind of note. But this time, I actually want to end it a little bit differently.
Big wheel, keep on turning.
I want to do a shout out to Al Pacino, age 82, and Robert De Niro, age 79, who just had newborn babies.
My God. Yeah.
Who's still out there slanging dick.
They still got it, man.
In their late 70s and early 80s.
And their wives are hot, man. Shout to them, bro.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah. Al Pacino's has like a 29-year-old.
No, it's Al Pacino, bro. It's Al Pacino, man. And De Niro, you said too?
And De Niro.
Wow.
De Niro, Pacino's 82, De Niro's 79. They both had newborn babies.
Congratulations.
Wait, hold on. No, I think Al Pacino's girl is pregnant. I don't even think the baby's even out. So he might be 83 by the time this baby comes.
Yeah, I thought they said he was 83 and the girl's 29, man.
Yeah, he's 82. I looked it up. Yeah,
listen,
man. Still,
it's the proof of
still slanging dick.
A man never gets old, man.
Got that one little dusty sperm that made it all the way through.
Yo, listen. They say a man never gets old, I guess, bro. I guess it's the truth, man.
That's goals right there, man. Wouldn't it be kind of cool to have kids at that point? I mean, you wouldn't get to see them grow up or anything, but it's a nice gift to the woman that you're with.
Just leave him with some money.
Leave him a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Tony Yayo.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Till next time, VladTV.
Peace.
Y'all know what it is. Peace.